Hello, ladies, gentlemen, ghouls, goblins, jack-o'-lanterns, skeletons, I don't know, witches, vampires, werewolves. Am I missing anything, Scott?
Zombies.
Someday.
Zombie.
Welcome to episode 19 of the Friday Nightmares podcast Halloween special. Our first.
It's our first again.
I am one half of your hosting team, Heather Powell, coming to you today from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. And with me, as always,
is Smokeshow Crawford, coming to you from Swartz Creek, Michigan. Bit dreary and rainy today and kind of cold, so typical northern fall weather.
Yeah, we actually have the same weather today, which yet again, we're only 3.5 hours apart. But
wait, you don't have like 10 feet of snow?
You know, I was going to say something really sweet about, but it feels like more than that because we haven't seen each other for a long time. But now you can go fuck yourself. And I'm happy that you're stuck on the other side of the border.
Damn it.
Man, did we have plans for this month?
So many plans.
You know, Scotty's birthday just passed.
Yes.
And Scotty's old now,
Yeah.
39. And originally, Scotty and I had talked about me coming out there, and we were going to go to the Big Detroit Haunt. What was it called?
Erebus.
And I was going to take him out for dinner and make him put out, because that's what you do when someone takes you out for dinner. That's how it rolls. That's how it rolls with me anyway. But obviously, luckily for Scott, that didn't happen. We are still dealing with the closed borders of Canada and the United States. They are open, so technically you could go to the United States and you could go to Canada, but there's a 14-day quarantine. Unfortunately, driving borders are closed, but I could fly into the United States. I cannot fly to Detroit because there is no flights from Toronto, and I cannot not leave my house for 14 days, unfortunately. Yeah. So we will not be doing Days of the Dead as well this year.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But the light at the end of the tunnel is that Scotty will be coming up here in hopefully February. And I just realized I never let you introduce yourself. Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I thought I let you introduce yourself. Scotty will hopefully be coming up here in February, and we'll go to Nightmares. I'm actually saving it for him.
I can't wait. It sounds like so much freaking fun.
It's fucking scary, and that's why I'm saving it for you. It's so fucking scary. I don't want to go in it.
I was saying, because I so need to be like just totally startled, because I haven't been scared at a haunt in a while.
This is going to be fucking scary. Like, it's scary. It has one of the highest chickened out rates for haunts.
Nice.
And it's full year. So these people do this all the time.
Yeah, that makes it even better, because they have all the time to practice and just make it even better each time.
Right. Yeah. They get better every day. Just think how great they'll be by 2025, Scott, if that's when the borders open. Fuck,
yeah, no kidding.
They'll be on fucking fire. But this is our Halloween special, and like every other podcast out there that's horror related, of course we had to do one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of our blood. We have to do a Halloween episode one way or another.
It's part of your podcasting contract, make-believe contract that you sign. Right. You have to do fucking horror podcast or Halloween podcast. But you've had some cool shit go on. Why don't you tell us about the Halloween adventures you've been up to, and I'll share some of mine.
All right. So yeah, just this past week, this weekend that we're recording, what is it, October 17th or October 18th?
18th.
Yeah, October 18th. So yeah, yesterday I went on a date, and we ended up going to
a very pretty friend of yours.
Oh, She is. Yeah, we decided to go to what it like. This is where the Renaissance Festival is usually held during like the late summer, early fall, and because of COVID, Renaissance Festival really didn't go on. They had kind of like this drive-through thing, just kind of like make some money. But this was their first year that they decided to do like to turn the whole fairgrounds into a like haunted festival.
Hmm.
And like I think they called it like the Phantasm of Lights and the Halloween at Holly Grove. Like there's a couple different names for it. And yeah, it was like it was a show for all ages. So I went in expecting like, oh, maybe a few jump scares here and there, but it's not going to be like horribly scary or anything. And it was really cool though. Like I love the way they did it. Like the way they decorated the whole place. They had sections blocked off that you could usually walk down during the regular festival, but if you walked the whole thing, it would have taken hours to get through it all. So
Mm.
like they just kind of roped a lot of stuff off and you had to like you were forced to go certain areas. And the areas that they had decorated were really freaking cool and like had some creepy lights and sound effects, and though not really scary, looked really cool. And I will say the most frightening thing of like the most creepy thing of this was the fact that I'm at this fairgrounds that I've gone to every year multiple times in complete pitch black, which I've never been, and all the vendor buildings that they have set up in that area are completely abandoned because no one's there during the year. And it made for really creepy hiding spots for scare actors to like jump out at you. Like you didn't know where they would be coming from because there's just so many buildings and you're just walking and you have to just keep an eye out for things. And the lady I was with, she ended up like getting very easily startled, and I never jumped myself except for when someone startled her and she screamed, and then her scream made me jump.
Did you wear your Renaissance outfit?
I was tempted to. I've seen a few people actually did wear theirs.
And you would have been like, "Milady, let me
Milady,
calm your nerves.
let me
I
pull out
escort
my
you through this.
sword and duel this demon.
I shall fight for your honor." And she'd been like, Scott, can you shut the fuck up?
That is exactly what she would say too.
Good woman right there, Scott. It's a good woman right there.
But yeah, it was cool though, because yeah, and just like I was talking on our haunted attractions episode, I'm that type of person that will like stop and like go, "Ooh, I love the detail they put into
Yeah, you're
this."
the creeper that goes to these haunts, actually. You're the scariest part about the haunt.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, and I'm the guy that the freaking actors get annoyed by because they're just like, he's talking to me, and I'm trying to stay in character. Like, oh man, I love the look. That is awesome.
They're like, wow, this guy, yes, it's very nice. You're right. This looks really good. he wants to be part of the display, but he's not.
I do.
It's like me too when I go to, I told you last year I was on the haunted hayride and Jason dropped on and I was like, Jason. I was like screaming and shit. I'm really glad you had a good time. It's nice to get out and do something Halloweeny. I did a ghost tour. We talked
That's
about
right.
offline back at the beginning of October in Toronto, in the distillery district of Toronto. It was more historical than ghosty, but it was really cool to learn about the history of the distillery district. So that was where the first alcohol was made in Toronto. So a lot of the buildings have been maintained to their original 1800s stature, and it was pretty cool. So anyway, we had this nice young lady who is dual language, so French and English, because Canada is officially bilingual, and you could hear the French accent, right? So she does this whole tour.
Oh yeah.
We get to the end, and there's this big tall building in front of us, and she kind of goes on the final ghost story, and I look up, and a light turns on at the top of this building, this older building, and I'm staring at it, and she's like, "Does anyone have any questions?" And I'm like, "Why is that light on?" And I point up, and everyone's head is like, whoosh, whoop, right? And they all like turn up, and she's like, "I don't know."
Oh.
Probably obviously someone was doing maintenance work or whatever, right? Like I'm sure it was the ghost turn on the light, but like it was pretty fun. And then I went to Boo at the Zoo.
Oh, that's right, you did.
With my friends' kids, and I dressed up as Super Heather, Superwoman, Super Heather.
You looked awesome too.
Thank you. And the animals were super active. and the kids did great for trick-or-treating. We had such a blast. Hey, Tim Davis, I saw some fucking kangaroos. They said hi. And they called you some C words that I won't use here.
Yeah, some silly Aussie C words.
Specifically for Tim Davis and Daniel Luffy. From the Horror for Dummies.
Yeah, because they didn't. Because I think because isn't that the kangaroo that you said? Like the kangaroo told you that Tim Davis punched him.
Yeah, he was like, that guy. Oh man, that guy. He beats up seagulls and shit too when they try to steal his kids' ice cream. If you listen to our last episode, we had the Horror for Dummies guys on, and you would have heard Tim's story, heroic story of beating up the seagulls. But yeah, so I saw the king, and I literally thought of like Tim and Daniel. Isn't that like fucking nerdy thing? Oh, kangaroo, Tim and Daniel. But yeah,
the North American thing for Australians.
North American, but the kids were all dressed up. There was one family that was dressed up as the Incredibles, and they looked really sick. They looked awesome.
Yeah, because I think you took a couple of pictures or video of them, didn't you?
I did. Oh,
Yeah.
And then prior to that, I went to this farm, and I'll skip over. So it was just a farm thing, and then they had the spooky barn, and I had my friends. So we had our friends' kids. So my friend Anne and myself are called Auntie Heather and Auntie Anne, and we had my friend Amber's kids. So Amber wasn't there, and we were going to go through the spooky barn, but my friend's kids are a little shy and they're a little nervous and they don't really like to be scared. And I said to the person at the front, I was like, oh, like, how scary is this? She's like, well, it's made for about an 8-year-old. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go in first by myself. Thinking, big brave Heather, right? And I'll see if it's scary enough. So holy shit, was this terrifying. So I go into the first room and it's fine, right? But then I walk smack into cobwebs. So they had floor to ceiling, like sticky, like thick rope that was cobweb. So I'm feeling out to get through it. But of course, whenever you trigger things, puppets jump out of the walls. So I had things falling down from the ceiling. I had stuff coming at me. And at one point, I think I told you the story, the floor sunk in.
Yeah.
So I went to walk across this bridge and I stepped on the squishy part of the floor, and this fucking mummy or whatever it was came out of the fucking ground. And I was like, ah! It was terrifying. So like I'm trying to get through this like exhibit, right? Because I'm like, holy shit, what did I get myself into? I can't bring the kids into this. They're gonna be scared. So I get out and my friend Anne's like, so how was it? I'm like, oh, it was fine, but I don't I don't think the kids should do it. But it was, I gotta say, for like a small little haunt with no live actors, just puppets and stuff, like it was pretty well done. Like there was a dragon midway through it, that an animatronic dragon that looked pretty good.
That's awesome.
Like it was actually pretty impressive. I wish I had got my phone out, but I was too busy trying to get out of that attraction.
Yeah, knowing you would have had your phone and you would have probably dropped it when you got startled by a puppet.
Oh, probably, and broke it more than it already is. But that's it. And then I'm going to Scare Park next weekend.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
So we'll see how that is. But yeah, anything special for your birthday, Scott, and your big month?
Yeah, well, I'll say I did kind of celebrate my birthday on my birthday weekend. I took a train from the town Durand here in Michigan and took a train out to Chicago and just did a solo out-of-state trip adventure. Got a hotel right in downtown district, right next, about a block away from the Sears, or as most people know now, the Willis Tower. And
Willis, like Willis Wheeler?
Yes, exactly.
Willis Wheeler is a podcaster, in case anyone's wondering. You can hear him on NFW.
Yeah, I was sitting in my hotel and all I hear is, this movie's boring.
You're like, Willis?
Willis Tower. Oh, Willis must be in the tower.
That's funny.
But yeah, I ended up going out there and met up with one of our fellow listeners of our show, Liz. And
shout out to Liz.
She ended up having me over, and we watched a Universal horror movie, and then which was Frankenstein, which I had never seen.
Very cool.
And
my dog looks like Frankenstein right now because he had surgery.
Yes, he does.
He looks like a puppy Frankenstein.
Hey, Frankenweenie,
yeah.
But yeah, then I ended up trying. Of course, while I was up there, I had to try the Chicago deep dish style pizza. Freaking amazing.
Num 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 num.
And then then I got back to the hotel. Then Saturday, woke up. Liz met me in town, and we ended up. She ended up showing me all around the sites, and we ended up, while we were walking and checking out the touristy sites, ran into fellow podcaster Gary Hill from Cinema
Let me ask you, did she say, I have such sights to show you, and then Gary showed up and you were like, whoa, Hellraiser, say what?
if that did happen, that would have been freaking perfect. But I got to meet Gary and his cute little doggy.
Oh, Darla?
Yeah, Darla. Yeah, he had her in a little side pouch on him while he was walking. So
Well,
cute.
shouts out to Gary Hill, who's back in business with Cinema Beef and NFW and all the other podcasts that he's on right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did finally get a chance to get back on.
Yeah. He's back.
He's back, baby.
Vengeance.
But yeah, that was great running to him. We chatted for a good like half hour, 40 minutes, and then when seeing the sights, I got to see the Birmingham fountain, which unfortunately was turned off like and drained, but it's the fountain in the opening credits of the theme song to Married with Children. So of course I had to go see it.
Very cool.
And then we went to the Institute of Art, or the Art Institute in Chicago, which is where Ferris Bueller was filmed, or parts of Ferris Bueller was filmed.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I tried getting in there on my next day, but their tickets were sold out, unfortunately, so I couldn't get inside. But yeah, I ended up also like just doing some solo exploring and ran out to the touristy area again and found the Ghirardelli chocolate store. And there's only apparently 2 of those in the U.S., one in California and one in Chicago.
Nom, 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 nom.
And I had to try their world famous hot fudge sundae, and oh my god,
it looked good.
Oh, it was so freaking sweet.
It almost looked as good as you, Scott.
Oh damn. Well, yeah, it was.
You can't come back from that. He's all like, yeah.
Got me all flustered now.
He's like, wow, Heather, like, shit, I'll take you to the haunt next time. Just kidding. Just kidding. Next moment, I'll be telling Scott he's stupid. So you can never really know with me.
That's so true. That's kind of why I was taken aback.
You're like, I'm not used to her saying nice things to me on air. She usually says all those things off air.
Right. But yeah, that was a really great weekend. Yeah, because I took Friday and Monday off, so I had a 4-day weekend. I came back Sunday night and then just chilled around the house on Monday and released our Australian episode and just kind of got back into the groove of things.
Yeah, you took amazing photos. You're really good at taking photos. Like you actually do a really, really good job. And you took some great selfies. I'm so proud of you that time I spent with you and I helped you with your selfie game. You've come a long way.
I have better than the downward or the upward angle down by my stomach.
Oh my God,
up to my face.
Those were the worst. But I was talking to Brandon Orlick. Surprise, surprise, from Exploding Heads. Because we're besties, even though he doesn't want to be besties with me. He is anyway.
He's forced.
He's forced to be.
Yeah.
And he was making fun of all my selfies. And he goes, you know what they are, Heather? They're called lonelies because you have no one else to take the picture for you.
Oh, wow.
But that's pretty funny, is it not?
That is pretty funny, but that is like
hashtag lonelies. Let me take a lonely.
Oh, that is just wow. That is a good burn.
Isn't it? I think it's really funny, actually. Like, that tells you the kind of person I am. It takes a lot to make me pissed. What he likes to do to make me mad is he'll tell me that the Canadian government takes 80% of our income. And taxes is that, which, he knows sends me into like this spiral of
rage.
Not true, right? But I'm so glad you had a great time and you got out of the state of Michigan. And you were safe. Let's all make something very clear here. Scott wore masks. He sanitized his hands. Scott is a big boy, yep. And he was able to make sure he engaged in safe sightseeing.
Yep, I'll say like even when I was on the train, we had to wear our masks the entire 5-hour train ride. When I was walking downtown, like I didn't wear a mask because I was outside. But once I got to the touristy area where it was like really congested crowds, I kept my space and then threw my mask on just because I was like, well, a lot of people here, just better to be safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then, sanitized stations like everywhere in Chicago. So it was just like my hands were just like pretty much clean the entire time.
Well, and I'm pretty sure you don't lick doorknobs anymore and stuff like that. So you're pretty good.
I kind of do. It's
awkward.
It's kind of like a lolly. It's kind of like a lollipop.
Like a lollipop. But if Scott and I lived in the same country, we definitely would have chilled in person by now. The only reason we can't is because the government has restricted us from being able to.
Right,
so,
exactly.
And we would have done so safely. And if Scott hopefully can come up here in February, which I'm really hoping for. I've already started planning the make-believe trip that hasn't even happened yet. In hopes that it does, so I can take him to I'm going to cram for all my Canadian Ontario people, I'm going to try to do Niagara on the Friday if he can get here soon enough, and Toronto on the Saturday. Now we can't do everything in Toronto. We can do everything in Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls ain't that big. It doesn't take
Right.
that much. And then I'll do Niagara on the Lake next time he comes up. So we'll see. Hopefully it happens. So, okay. Well, here's the good news. My dog is doing better. He had ACL surgery this week. So he's barking. So that's a good sign.
Right, exactly. He's back to his typical Micmac self.
And I set up for Halloween today. I put my blow up dog. My blow up doll I keep in the house. Scott's rolling off the couch right now. Whatever, Scott.
No.
I got it because I got you a 2-for-1 deal, so you have one too.
Oh, that was great.
My blow up dog. He's still laughing. I haven't seen you laugh that hard in a long time.
Oh my God, it was great.
My blow up dog. So, like one of those I've said the blow up dog enough times. People are like, we get it, Heather. The blow up ghosts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like you guys have those, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's on my front lawn. And I have this ceramic pumpkin that my grandmother made for me. You gonna laugh at that now, Scott?
Nope.
Who's dead now, Scott.
Oh.
Well, been dead a long time, but that I have outside, and a couple other things. So I just decorated today because I kind of wanted to see if Halloween was going to happen. Like I didn't want to decorate and then be like, no Halloween, and me have to take all the shit in. So like it's happening now, and I'll be putting my blow up doll out later.
Hell yes, better make sure.
I'll be covering the areas the fun spots.
At least put a sock on it.
I don't think a blow-up doll like that would work for me. Like it would. Yeah, I don't know if it would be hard enough to get the job done.
I mean, all I gotta do is like get a regular blow-up doll and then stuff a 2-headed dildo in there. Boom.
Yeah, but I don't want to. Just like the man, I don't need the full thing. Scott. I just need one part.
That's very true.
I'm not looking for their fucking names. We know this from the relationship episode.
Though I name my blow-up dolls though, just because if it's gonna be around, you gotta get used to it and start calling it by name.
Is one of them Tim Davis?
You know it. And I feed him KFC and
KFC. Anyway, that was a really fun side talk we had. Your laughing was like the best part of this entire thing, actually.
Oh,
like this great. Is why we should switch to video. I am wearing my Friday the 13th hoodie because I didn't order the box set. Scott and I are like the two people in the entire community that didn't order the box set, so we have absolutely nothing to say about it, but I'm really glad that everybody's got theirs. I'm really sad that there's 3 discs that need to be fixed. There's been the issues or something like that.
Yeah, that happens occasionally with like certain releases with Scream Factory, that like either audio ends up missing out or something's missing from the disc. The ones that I feel the worst for apparently are the ones that are getting the box set and they're getting duplicates of certain movies and not the full set. So they
just get like all Friday the 13th too.
And there was someone got 4 Friday the 13th remakes.
You were gonna like this fucking remake.
Yeah, it's like you were gonna like this and love it and deal with it.
It's the best movie ever. I actually really like the Friday 13th remake.
Oh, so do I.
I like all of them, but like I'm not a huge fan. Even though I own a lot of Friday 13th shit, it's just because it's one of the most popular horror movies. So when people buy me shit, it's always Friday the 13th.
Right.
Like that's why. Like it's not because I'm like in love with Jason. It's just because it is what it is. That's what's available.
And speaking of like getting a lot of shit for birthdays, well, apparently my Gremlin collection has just like fucking quadrupled because it was a Gremlins themed birthday this year from.
It's because I started the trend. I got you the fucking gifts. Everyone saw and they were like, "Shit, that's what he likes." They all got you Gremlin shit. That's why.
Yeah, I was like you, and then Kim, and then my roommate Tim.
Honestly, like, why are these people giving you such nice gifts?
I don't know. Like, why I don't deserve it. Like
what are they doing?
You and everybody else have got me such nice gifts, and I don't deserve it.
No, I feel like I got you the shitty gifts compared to what everyone else is getting you. I was like, here's a blanket. I ordered it from Amazon. Here's some socks. Well, the Vincent Price, um, what would you
Face
call that
mask.
bandana?
Yeah. Neck gaiter.
Is like my fave because I
Yeah.
feel like not a lot of people know you like Vincent Price as much as Gremlins. We don't talk about it as much.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, I love that freaking neck gaiter.
No,
I actually like when I wore it to Chicago, someone recognized who it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, nice. I want to be friends with you now.
And they were like, "Please leave me alone, creepy man."
Right. Creepy bearded man that I don't know that is like now talking to me. I shouldn't have
You
said
were like that. You're like, "It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. A wonderful day in the neighborhood."
I am.
But I guess we should get into our movies. Anyway, happy Halloween, everybody. Trick or treating is happening here in Canada. With caution, I have a safety plan. I plan to make sure all trick or treaters are comfortable. I'm going to sit on my porch, put candy at least 6 feet away from me, a little bottle or a big bottle or whatever of hand sanitizer, and watch the kiddies. Because if parents are comfortable and they want to bring their kids out, I am happy to supply the candy. And my goal is to get full-size chocolate bars from Costco.
That's awesome.
So I become that house.
Be warned though, once you become that house, it becomes expected of you.
You know what? I feel like the kids fucking deserve it this year.
Oh,
man.
they absolutely freaking do.
Like if I could serve booze to the adults, I would, but like you can't do that. So,
There does need to be an adult Halloween where we just like leave the kids at home. We all go to each next door neighbor's house and keep going trick or treating like house to house and just getting like little airplane shots.
that'd be pretty epic.
Yeah, that'd be great.
sounds like what I want to do now.
Right?
That's like something me and my friends are gonna do. Yeah, and I'm going to a drag show too on Devil's Night. I'm gonna be freaking hammered. So I mean,
oh, you are.
Now I'm gonna be hammered. I don't even know why I pretend not to be.
Oh, you are. I already know. I'm gonna be getting booyah,
booyah,
and probably some shit talking videos from you and Ann.
Oh yeah, depends how trash Ann gets. Yeah, it's true. Bitches be crazy. Is trick or treating happening for you?
I believe it is. I know, like while I was in Chicago, they did trunk or treating, but looked like a massive crowd showed up for that. So I don't know if there'll be many that'll
Why
go
don't they
out.
just do it from the house because you can socially distance with that?
Yeah, I don't get why they did trunk or treating. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like because like 90% of the people weren't wearing masks and like weren't social distancing at all. So I'm going, yeah, I'm not gonna say a word on the post. I'm just gonna scroll past it.
Just keep scrolling.
But what I'll end up doing is probably buying like a huge bag of like the candies that I'll talk about in our out of the dark segment that I love getting. And
I hope they're not shit candies.
You kind of know my taste.
So they might be shit candies. That's fair.
Ah, damn. All right.
Did your drama club make them?
Yes.
To fund their next film?
Yeah, damn right they did. But no, I'm gonna buy like a huge bag of candies, and then worst case scenario, if no one shows up, like I'll do kind of the same thing you are.
Eat them by yourself.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Just have like my own like candy high.
Well, maybe you'll have some friends to hang out with on Halloween night.
Yeah, there's a good possibility. I mean, and if not, I'll get dressed up. I'll take one of my pillow sacks, and if no one does stop by my house, I'll fill my whole pillow sack with candy, and then I'll pretend like I just got back from trick or treating and dump it all on the table and start sorting through it and watch scary movies.
You're like, oh my god, I can't believe I got this.
I would totally do it.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh man, great. Well, you know what? We're making the best of Halloween here on Friday Nightmares. I am so done with listening to people complain about 2020. I'm fucking done with it.
Me too.
Yes, it sucks. Like the only things that really suck is I can't see my American friends. I'll be honest. That's the only thing that has me bummed out now. I've made the best of this October. I've done some cool shit. You know what? Like until I get to see you motherfuckers again, that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Right. Same here. Like that's the only thing that I'm like saying. I wish that would hurry up and go away so I could come out and hang out with you.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, you just gotta make the best of the situation.
It's true. And then I'll hurry up and make you go away after you come up and visit.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be like, all right, I got my day of you. I'm tired. Okay. You're annoying.
And now it's time for you to leave. I'll see you in a year. Just kidding. All right. So should we break into these 2020 movies?
Yeah, let's do it.
You take the first one.
All right.
You do it.
All right. So the first movie that we ended up watching, I think we pretty much watched all these except for one separately, but like we all watched them, but just at different times. But this one is The Wolf of Snow Hollow. And this is pretty much about a small town community that starts having like savage animal attacks happening to victims in their town, and the police investigators start, or the police chief starts getting involved and trying to figure out the killer and all that. And man, this was it's right, you can tell right from the beginning it's a werewolf movie. And
Well, it's a werewolf movie?
yeah. And
Spoilers, Scott.
yeah, that's not a spoiler for this movie. But I will say, like, werewolf films are tough. Like, they can either be, there's some really good ones, and then there's just a lot of bad ones. Like, it's very few and far between when you get a good one, and this is one of the good ones. The acting in it was great, had some good comedic moments that I didn't expect, like especially from the main character that plays the police sergeant or the chief. Oh my gosh, his character cracked me up, and at the same time I felt bad for him at the exact same time. Like, but yeah, this was
Yeah, the dry
really good.
humor was quite good in this.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably, I think it's gonna be in my top 20. I haven't moved it on my list yet, but
Yeah, it was a really good film. I think you've summed it up. The dark humor or the sarcastic humor was very good. It was filmed well. The acting was decent. The story moved. It pulled emotions from you that it meant to pull. I definitely, I don't think it'll be in my top 20, but it was a very solid film, and I would recommend it to anyone. It's available on Apple, Google, Vudu, YouTube, and gosh, I always forget this last one, Microsoft Store, which is Canada. So Microsoft Store in Canada, if they're looking for it.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I guess I'll take the next one then.
Yes.
Because I really liked this one a lot. I liked it a lot.
Yes, you did, and you recommended it to me.
And I am not somebody who enjoys exorcism movies. And this movie is called The Cleansing Hour. I will sit through them and put up with them, but I feel like they've all been done before. And how many times can we do the same shit over and over again? This movie changed it.
Yes.
This movie was not your typical exorcism film. This movie was modern day. This movie included social media. This fucking demon was awesome and had some of the best dialogue I've seen in a long time.
And it had what most demons and most exorcism films doesn't have, an actual end goal.
Yes.
Like, you know what his plan is, and holy shit. And yeah, I am right there with you. Like, when you told me to watch this one, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll throw this on because you really, really liked it. I'm like, and when you really like a movie, I usually just jump on board because I'm like, more than likely I'll like it. And at first I'm going, oh boy, like these type of characters, this is, oh boy, this is what we're doing. And then it gets into it and I'm going, oh, holy crap.
It's good.
Yeah, it gets really dark really fast.
It's a 94-minute runtime. It does not feel like a 94-minute runtime. It feels like it goes by like that. It's a snap of the finger, and you feel like the movie's done. And I really, really recommend it. Unfortunately, I don't have here where it's available. I'm going to go with hopefully the Apple Store. Do you have where it's available?
It is. It's actually the day that you and I watched it, the very next day it got dropped on Shudder.
Excellent. So it is on Shudder. So if you have Shudder, watch this movie. It is worth your time. It is well done. It is not long. I think it's great for the Halloween season. Well, you know, we're horror fans. We like fucking horror all year round. But like, It is definitely solid film.
Yeah, this was really good, and I think it's in both of our top 10s.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a blast with it. The next one is also one that just keeps creeping further and further up the list, like, because it's one that just has stuck with me since I watched it, and that is the third movie this year called Scare Me.
And I feel like this is the one that Mark Nato was talking about super long ago, that he saw a screener of.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might have been,
because he said it was two people storytelling.
Yeah,
and we finally got it.
Right. And man, like, I read the description, I'm going, oh, this is gonna be like a horror anthology series because they're telling tales, and oh, sweet. Little did I know this was literally two people telling stories to each other, and you're just watching them tell these stories. And my God, the acting between these two was incredible.
Absolutely.
And I forget her name, but
Fanny,
like, what is her actress name?
Aya Cash,
Yeah, Aya Cash.
and Josh Rubin.
Yeah, Aya Cash and Josh Rubin. Well, Aya Cash actually just got off of the season 2 of The Boys, and she played Stormfront on that.
Nice.
And like, so I wanted to watch this because I was like, oh, I'd never seen her in anything else. And then, like, oh my gosh, it's funny. It's like, it had me like glued to the screen the entire time because it sounds boring when you say, oh yeah, two people just telling each other stories. But no, they acted out like the character acts every character in their story out, and there's like sound effects and shadows, and like, it is just so well done. It's funny. It's kind of sad in a way, and it just, this is one of those, it literally could be a stage play.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's an extremely well done film. Very well acted between the two actors. I don't know why it's so low on my list. I'll probably move it up. It is on Shudder and Amazon as well, apparently. I'm assuming maybe it's on Amazon, Shudder, Amazon Channel, the United States. It is on Shudder Canada. You
Okay.
can see it on Shudder Canada. It's totally worth the watch. Like, this is another reason why 2020 doesn't suck for films.
Right.
This is a good movie. The Cleansing Hour is a good movie, and so is The Wolf of Snow Hollow. They're not bad films, and they're different films. So you could possibly like one and not like the other. But out of the three, none of them are bad out of the three of them. They move, they're
No.
entertaining, they're characters that you like and that you can get behind, or it's just a very good story that you can follow and keeps you engaged.
Yeah, I completely agree 100%. And like, looking at our list of the movies we're talking about, I don't see any bad movies on this list.
No, I
this time
think
around.
right now what the movies we're coming out and talking about, all of them I would recommend, or depends on the person, right? Like, I feel like I recommend things, people are like, I don't like that. Well, that's fine. But
Right.
these aren't poor movies. There's a difference between this movie wasn't for me and a bad movie.
Right, exactly.
And I do believe there's a difference. I think there's, I may not love Midsommar or I may not love The Shining. Like, I think The Shining is one of the best made movies, but Jack Nicholson made that movie good. And
Yeah.
so did Shelley Long as a secondary character. If you put someone else as Jack Nicholson, like he wasn't in that movie, it would not have been as good. And I get that people may disagree with me on that. That's fine. But he made that movie. His acting sold that film.
I 100% agree.
And I respect it because of that. And the filming of it and everything. Is it one of my top films? No, it's not. But doesn't mean I don't respect it as a movie. And
Right,
I feel
exactly.
like you can do that. You can be like, that's a really good movie. It's just not my personal jam.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
And that's how, that's one thing you and I have always done when we've talked about movies. Like, because there'll be something you'll love that I may not be the biggest fan of. But I'm just like, yeah, it just didn't connect with me nearly as much.
But there are
I
movies
have
that are just
respect for
shit
it.
too. There
Yeah.
are. There are movies out there that are just shit. Right. But none of these movies are shit.
Right, exactly.
They're not. They're not horrible fucking movies. They're just, it's going to depend what you like and what you don't.
Yep. I'll say each person's taste is different.
Yeah. So Death of Me, I'm just looking it up now. This is actually a really cool film because it does take place internationally, but it's not an international film. And it has Maggie Q in it, who is also in Fantasy Island this year.
That's where I recognized her from.
Yeah. And that like, I enjoyed Fantasy Island for what it was. Like, it was a fluffy Blumhouse film. Like, I didn't walk into Fantasy Island and go, oh man, best horror film of the year coming out here. I
went in expecting just to have fun with it.
Yeah, I expected it to be fluffy, whatever, right? Luke Hemsworth is in it. Alex Esso is in it. So some really big name people are in this film.
And what is the director's name? I'm trying to remember. Darren Lynn Bousman, I think.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah, because I think that is he was the director of Saw 2, and he's done a couple other horror films.
Oh, cool, nice. Well, that makes a lot of sense with some of the scenes in this then. It's basically based on a couple who's away on holiday in Thailand, and they wake up with no memory of what happened the night before, which sounds like an average Sunday morning for me. But apparently, that's not normal. So as I found out.
Sorry to let you know, Heather. Didn't mean to burst your bubble.
Well, you know what? I'm just all about the bad decisions. That's how it is. But yeah, it's well acted, very entertaining. It's a little bit, you have to pay attention. It is a complicated storyline.
Yeah.
It does, kind of do this ultra reality stuff and flashes from the past to the present. So you really got to be paying attention. And if you don't like that, you may not enjoy this film. It's definitely not one of my top films, but I enjoyed it for the watch that it was. I enjoyed the storytelling behind it, but you really do have to pay attention. And it is only a 95-minute runtime, which I'm glad they stuck it to that. And they didn't drag this shit out till 110 minutes or whatever, because I think they would have ruined it if they did that.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I pretty much agree with you. This movie, like, it's one of those where if you are paying attention to it, the payoff is worth it. And
yes.
Like there is a lot of crazy nightmarish visuals that go on throughout this due to what's going on in the story. And this is actually in my top 10 right now.
Oh, wow.
It's one of those films that I really just enjoyed the hell out of, and it had reminiscent qualities of The Wicker Man.
Yes. I get that. Yeah.
But yeah,
it made me want pad thai.
Yeah, you do love your Thai food.
It's like nom, 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 nom. Yeah, I like food. Everything is like, that makes me want to eat something. Hostel.
Yummy in my tummy.
Too. Yum yum in my tum tum. But yeah, check it out. I'm just gonna go back to see where it's available here. So it is available on iTunes, Google, Vudu, YouTube, and Microsoft Store.
Nice. And yeah, I guess the next one is me. This is one that we did watch together. This is Vampires versus the Bronx. That was a Netflix original. Wow. What a fun movie.
Yeah, it was fun.
Such a dumb title. Like one of those can't remember the name of the company, but like some generic company just throws this title on a movie and just puts it out like it'd be straight to VHS type rental. But yeah, ignore the name of it, because man, this movie is just a social commentary. It kind of has reminiscent qualities of what was it, Lost Boys, and there was another movie I'm trying to think of off the top of my head, but like this was
Summer of '84.
Kind of, yeah, because it was like
no one really believes them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I would just say like the kid actors in this, all amazing.
Yeah, the kids were all really, really awesome. And the social commentary, I want to make a comment about that. Okay, the social commentary in this is not like Antebellum, all right? No. The social commentary in this is like giving a realistic view of what the Bronx looks like when it comes to people who live there, challenges that they have, cultural norms that are developed. And if for some reason this upsets you, then I don't know how you watch any film that represents any cultural norms, because I did not walk out of that movie and go, man, that's a social justice movie right there.
Right.
Like I walked out of that movie going, wow, that was a fun little modern day vampire telling with some accuracy of what the Bronx is probably like and what a group of kids living there would probably talk about, activities they probably would engage in, and how they kind of come together to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel that it was a movie. Like I feel people are looking to not like that, and that's my honest opinion. If you say it's a social commentary and you have a problem with it, like it is not a movie that is heavy at all.
Right, exactly.
In my opinion.
It's pretty much just light and fluffy, just fun, that has a social, like a commentary to it.
It has a commentary too, but it's not even that much of a commentary.
Right, exactly. It's just like it's not deep. It's
are you surprised that there's groups of African Americans that live in the Bronx, and some of them,
not at all,
they like to play, there's a scene with them playing basketball. Like I don't understand what would be the social like there is impoverished areas in different areas of New York City. There are affluent areas and there are areas that struggle.
Yep. And
this movie did touch on that. But if you didn't know that, I don't know what rock you've been living under.
Right, exactly.
Like I don't get, this wasn't like Antebellum that was like slavery is bad, which yet again, obviously everyone got that message, but there was more to that movie than that, in my opinion. Yet again, I don't think it's a great movie by any stance, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is.
Right.
But it's, I don't know, like, it's a fun, fluffy vampire flick, for goodness sakes, on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like,
Like just go into it and expect to have fun.
Like it's just cool, and the vampires kind of look like they came out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like,
Right.
Daniel was right in our last episode. Like, it's a fun little movie. Stop getting upset about stupid shit.
Yeah, people need to just chill out.
Like, they do. Like, it's a fun movie. And like, if stuff in there bothers you, then I think you got other issues going on. Personally, like, I don't understand how anything in that movie could even be construed as anything more than just a description of life.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, you gotta love how some people just get butthurt over these things.
I think people are looking for reasons to be mad sometimes.
Yes, they are.
Right? And that's fine. If you don't like the movie, you can always shut it off. Like, that's an option.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's a movie I was watching recently that I didn't like and I shut it off. Do you remember what it was?
I'm trying to remember because it's only happened like a couple times.
I think it was a 2020.
Yeah, yes, it was the one that damn it. The one I recommended.
What was that movie? Oh, Do Not Reply.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So you know what I did? I shut it off.
Yeah. And then you proceeded to make fun of me and tell me I don't have good taste.
That's true. I tease you. But like, I didn't need to go onto social media and blast it and be like, oh man, this movie sucks and everyone that likes it sucks. And there's a social message here about girls being kidnapped through their cell phone. And I don't like this. And I don't like the fact that it's talking about teenage drama. Like, I didn't get upset. Like, if you don't like something, you have the opportunity to turn it off and walk away.
Right, exactly.
You really do. You don't have to watch something if you're not enjoying it. So, I don't know. Vampire vs. Bronx, it's a fun movie. I recommend checking it out.
Yes. And this next movie is is your pick.
Oh yeah, The Paramedic, which is on Netflix as well. Is it on Netflix? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because that's where we both watched it.
Yeah. This is a Spanish film. I believe it's a Spanish film.
Yeah, I think it's called like
Because my favorite actor's in it. My favorite Spanish actor that was also in The Occupant earlier that I watched this year. I really like him quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, he was really good actor.
Mario Cassia. I really dig him. He's a really good actor. And anyway, this movie is, I think, really well done. I find yet again that movies that are made by Spain or other countries really know how to push the bar, and they don't shy away from tough topics. And basically, this movie is about so, you know, if people don't like social commentary, this is about abusive relationships.
Yep.
If that's gonna upset you. And choices that people make to get out of those relationships and what the outcome can be. And it's a very good film. It's 94 minutes in length. You can watch it with subtitles if you choose to. The subtitles are actually, the dubbing. Sorry, the dubbing if you choose to. The dubbing's actually pretty good.
Yeah, because I just watched it not realizing that it was a Spanish film, and I was like, well, I'm already partway through it. I'll just continue with the dubbing, and yeah, the dubbing was really good. Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is like a really, really well done story, and yeah, that Mario guy, he's a
phenomenal actor, man.
He's like amazing.
I will probably watch more, and he does a lot of horror movies, so I'm probably going to follow him a little bit more carefully, because I really like him. I think he does a really good job of portraying characters and stuff. Like, he's good.
Yeah, because I really liked him in The Occupant, and then seeing him in this again as the main character was, yeah, he's a great character that has a lot of range.
Absolutely, and this story is raw. Like, it reminded me of The Shroud's Nest, mixed with abusive relationships, mixed with like anything like that, like stalkerish. What's that movie? Sleeping with the Enemy, only not as cheesy, because Sleeping with the Enemy is a little cheesy at times.
Yeah.
But like, it was good. Like, it was a really solid film. So check it out on Netflix. It may not be for everyone, but if you like Spanish films, you will enjoy this film. If you like Spanish horror films, you're gonna enjoy this film for sure.
Yep, completely agree.
Absolutely.
And this next one, actually, I have not seen.
Oh, you haven't seen Black Box?
Not yet. That is one that I still need to check out.
Oh, so it's part of the Bloom House party that got released on Prime this month. So, or Blumhouse. I always say Blumhouse. whatever. It's not a bad film. I can say that out of the I've seen 3 out of 4 of them. It was probably my favorite out of the
Oh,
3 out of the
really?
4 I've seen. The other ones were fine. Like they're very kind of Lifetime movie-ish, I feel.
Yeah.
But the acting is good. It's a little more black box. It's a little more science fiction-y. Honestly, I didn't see the twist coming.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people compare this to a full-length version of Black Mirror.
I had not seen Black Mirror, but that would make a lot of sense from what I've heard of it.
I recommend checking that out at some point. That would probably creep you the hell out because like the Twilight Zone for technology.
Which would be awesome. So this was definitely what I would consider science fiction-y. I didn't see the twist at the end. I got hints of it coming up to it, but I thought it was really well executed at the end. The acting was decent. I think for a free watch on Prime, it's one of the better ones. We don't have it on here, but The Evil Eye, I saw that one as well. That's very Hindi. Even though it's in
Yes.
English, it's very South Asian. So
Yep.
you
And
gotta like South Asian films.
yeah, I'll give a shout out to that one because I've watched 2 of them so far, Nocturne and Evil Eye. And Evil Eye I like better, and I think it's because of the things that you have told me through watching Hindi films, like that
Yeah,
you've learned, like that you know about in the culture
yeah.
and explained to me, has helped me appreciate that film even more.
And the acting was good. Like the
Yeah.
acting between the mother and the daughter in that was actually really good. Um, and Nocturne, I thought was fine. I just felt like it was a mix between 2 other films.
Right.
I think those other films did it better personally, but I wouldn't say that Nocturne was bad. It just wasn't. I don't know. The ending of Nocturne, I was like, really, really,
Yeah. That's pretty much how I felt too.
like who's seen this?
It's like
Why?
nothing special here at all.
And that's probably why, but I definitely wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't shit on it and say it was a shitty movie. And again, for free watches for Prime, if you want something fluffy and light, I would put them kind of out there with Into the Darks. Only I
Yeah.
think they're better quality than most of the Into the Darks.
I was saying because that's
Um,
Bloomhouse as well. So
oh, there you go, right? Like it's just easy, fun little watches. Like they're probably not going to grace anybody's top 10, or maybe they will, I don't know. But they're not. I don't regret my time with them.
right, same here. Like I enjoy them as like just bubble, like you called the Into the Dark, bubblegum horror.
Bubblegum horror, easy to digest, easy to sit through and watch. I would probably show these to people who are maybe interested in watching something scary but not too scary.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, like
exactly how I'd look at it.
especially the Evil Eye. That one isn't that scary at all.
No.
I would say that Nocturne and Black Box are more scary, but
Yeah, I can see Nocturne for sure, and I'll check out Black Box before we
yeah,
record again.
for sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll talk about the last 2020 film, and I think we both have watched this one as well, and that is 12-Hour Shift. It's about these bodies start to pile up when a drug user nurse and her cousin try to find replacement kidneys for an black market organ trafficker. That's pretty much the story, and it's like a very dark comedy. Stars Angela Bettis, which made me so happy to see her back on the screen again because it's been a while, and like she's one of my favorite actresses in the horror genre. Like when
Oh yeah.
yeah, because she plays May in the movie May.
Oh, okay, that's who
And,
she is.
and I've rambled on about that movie
Oh yeah,
multiple times. But
Ramble's a good word. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, this is just a very dark slapsticky style humor in a way. And that also has David Arquette in it.
And Mick Foley,
And Mick Foley, that's right.
Mankind,
Yeah, that
Cactus Jack,
I was just about to say Cactus Jack.
Dude Love.
Dude Love, yes.
For all our WWE fans. Isn't David Arquette wrestling too now?
Yes, I don't know if he's I'm not sure what network he's with, but yeah, he is a wrestler as well. But yeah, I found this one to be pretty funny, entertaining. I actually watched this one on the train home from Chicago, and like I was just kind of chuckling to myself. Like people probably thought I was crazy because I had my headphones in and just kind of giggling. And if
they definitely thought you were crazy.
I mean, just look at me.
A crazy dude with a beard looks like CC Top.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I got legs. She knows
How to use them. People, women go crazy for a sharp dressed man.
Is with your hoodie. They're like, you're not dressed, dude.
Oh, I am styling and profiling. But yeah, I recommend this. It was a fun, easy watch. I don't think everyone's gonna like it. I know. Actually, I was just talking to Moods about this on from 22 Shots of Horror. He was commenting on my posts about what I've watched or whatever, and he was saying he was not a fan of this one. But yeah, so this one's gonna be hit or miss because I think it's just gotta hit the funny bone, and you gotta deal with like a lot of like stupidity that happens in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of satire humor, right? Like it's not satire, dark humor, I guess maybe. It's funny. I thought it was my humor. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it for what it was. I felt it flowed good. I never felt bored throughout it. Yet again, 86-minute runtime.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do, people. Keep your movie short and sweet and then drag this shit out more than you necessarily need to.
Yep, hit that little 80 to 90-minute sweet spot.
Right? Absolutely. That's always Scott's gold.
Gotta hit that sweet spot. Yeah.
80 to 90 minutes, ladies. 80 to 90 minutes. You're in it for the fucking long haul with
I've built that stamina up.
That's right. That's right. He has to get Gatorade halfway through, but it will be fine.
That's true. Just inject it into my veins. I'll be good.
Oh boy. That sounds really good for you. So that breaks us. Oh, I guess we should say where we can find the 12-Hour Shift movie. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, YouTube, and the Microsoft Store.
Nice.
And it's I think it's worth a rental for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like I said, it was a fun, easy, silly watch.
Absolutely, I liked it a lot. I was totally my sense of humor. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's going to be very polarizing.
Yeah, I was like, because I'm with you. I was laughing my butt off through it and just chuckling and having a good time with it.
Your butt's gone now.
But oh no, what am I going to sit on now?
Older movies. So I guess I'll break into the older movies. Your older movies aren't on here. Did you watch any older movies?
Yeah, I told you I was going to talk about a specific trilogy, but I guess you never added it.
Well, I sent you the list so you could add it. Look at us. It's like when mom and dad fight. You got the email. You could have added it on. I sent it to you, you lazy guy. All right. So we'll go through my movies first, and then we'll talk about your fucking trilogy, because it's actually more relevant to our topic anyway.
It is.
I saw The Bay finally. It's a 2012 found footage movie. They covered it on Exploding Heads earlier this year, which is a group that I'm a Patreon of. So shouts out to Christian, Dave C, and Brandon. I enjoyed it. It was a good little found footage film. It was scary. It was scary because of the topic in it is quite relevant, and you could see happening in what happens. Have you seen it?
I got about halfway through and then got distracted and it played all the way through and I never went back to finish, which
yeah, you can't walk away from that movie and go back into it.
I want to start back from the beginning because I really enjoyed what I was watching and it's creepy as hell.
It is creepy, and I think that it's definitely something that you can't walk away from. It's based on a July 4th holiday celebration at a bay, and parasites and shit are fucked up. Yeah. Like they really are, and this really does a good job of using found footage and how they film it and how they present everyone in the film very, very well. It's definitely worth a watch. So definitely, if those people out there who haven't checked it out, it's a 2012 watch, 84 minutes. Watch it. It's worth it. The ABCs of death.
Oh, man.
Things that make you go,
Very good description.
This movie, man. So one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. I'll be honest. Have you seen it? You've seen it, right?
Yeah, because I was telling you when you were saying you're going to watch it, I'm going, I can't remember if I enjoyed it or not. I know there's certain stories I did, but as a whole, I wasn't sure.
There's people that took it very seriously. So there was definitely directors that took it very seriously and directors that took it like it was a big joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, because the seriousness and the humor or whatever they were trying to portray was all over the place.
Yeah, there was one film that was a cartoon where a woman got a piece of poo stuck to her heel. she went to use the toilet at a fancy party, and the poo wouldn't go down the toilet, and she had to fight with the poo as it flew around the room to get down the toilet. And
I
then there
completely forgot
was
about that one.
one about like a monster in the closet, and then there was a particular one, and I'm just going to announce it because I think for some women it might be a trigger. There's one about a miscarriage, and I miscarried. It was very hard for me to watch that one, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done that.
Right.
I just wish I had known that. I probably would have skipped it because it was very uncomfortable for me. But, you know, yet again, like, I don't think they did anything wrong as filmmakers. I just wasn't prepared to see that. There was one for the dog fight, and it was them, a guy fighting a dog, which I had a hard time watching as well.
I forgot about that one too.
There was another one about masturbation. That Howling one stands out in my mind, that these dudes were forced to stare at a naked woman, and whoever climaxed first got to survive, and the other dude would be killed.
That's right. Okay.
And the final prize was being able to like have sex with a woman, but then she would like cut you while it was happening. It was just like how much diverse sexual pleasure people would get out of things. It was like high society was watching and shit. Kind of reminded me of like fucked up, like, I don't know, those fucked up cult movies or shit like that, right? Like, it was just really, really fucking weird. And then there was sorry, go ahead.
I'll say, wasn't there one called T for Toilet?
Yes, and that's where the kid gets the shelf dropped on him as claymation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the one that always stuck out to me from that movie for some reason.
Yeah, T is for toilet. And then there was a drug one where a girl ODs.
Oh.
Like, so her and her friend are both doing drugs, and then the one ODs, and like the Grim Reaper takes the one that, like, it's weird. Like, it was like there was some ones that, and then there was one where like these guys were gonna shoot a duck, and then they don't shoot the duck, and they actually shoot themselves and they die. Like, it was just like it was definitely an experience. I'm glad I watched it, with the exception for the miscarriage one, which was hard personally for me. Yet again, nothing wrong against the filmmaker. It was just very hard for me.
Right.
But you know, like, cool concept. Like, I'll give them credit for a cool concept, but I wouldn't watch it again.
I was gonna say, will this make you watch the sequel?
No.
I tried the sequel, and it's the same thing. Like, I just don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, like, and I just don't know. It's such a mixed bag, and I don't know if I just want to sit through that. Maybe eventually. I'm just trying to get through, you know, the first of series that I've missed out on.
Makes sense.
And not like hurt me worry about the sequels right now. The second one I saw, or sorry, the third one that I wanted to bring up was the Howling.
Oh yes, because I never did get your opinions on this one. I'm curious.
Yeah, so it's a 1981 Joe Dante film. Good. I enjoyed it.
Director of the Gremlins.
Yeah, it was a fun little werewolf movie. I do like American Werewolf in London better. Way better. But the practical effects were good. The story was decent enough. 91 run time, worth sitting through. Her, you know, this is a spoiler, but the ending scene with the newscast was really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun movie.
Yeah, I will say, like, with the 90-minute runtime, is it me or does it feel like it's a slow burn, even though it's 90 minutes?
I didn't find it slow.
Okay, because like I, it's been a long time since I watched it, and I just remember it being slow. But I will say that I love the bipedal werewolves in this movie.
Yeah, and you know what I think it is, though? That's just a sign of the 80s films. It's filmed very much like an 80s film.
Oh, it is.
Like, it has that kind of slowness to it that feels like it's slow.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Because, yeah, that's how... Because, yeah, it's like I said, it's been a very long time since I watched it.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. And then I watched the first VHS, and I definitely like VHS 2 better.
That is like the majority of people's opinions. Part 2 is just the better one.
But VHS was good. The stories in it were entertaining enough. The campground one was kind of cool with the killer that was kind of digital or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, like staticky and like tracking.
That was kind of cool. The crazy chick in the hotel room at the beginning.
I like you.
Yeah, it's like she was fucked up
and she actually got a full movie made out of her.
Oh yeah?
Yep, called The Siren.
Oh, that's cool. Is she the same actress?
Yep, the same actress comes back and plays her and everything. It's not the Siren movie that we watched on Shudder, but it's a different one that came out I think in 2017 or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. And the only other one I want to mention because I watched it last night was Hostel, and I was really disappointed. I expected more from the original Hostel, and I thought it was
Yeah.
okay, but it was basically a porn for the first 30 minutes, and then like over the top, ridiculous. Like these dudes are like the biggest sex machines ever.
Oh, I know.
Like I was watching it with someone, and they're like, "Are these guys going to stop having fucking sex? Like when does this end?" Like it was just like constant, like, and he was like, "Aren't they tired?"
Right.
Right, and they were like, I was like, man, these guys are going a lot. Like I guess they're young guys and they can do it. And the gore was pretty good. The third act was the best part, but I definitely like Hostel Part 2 more.
Yeah. Man, like the one that because it's also one of these that I have not seen in a very long time, but I remember those two main characters being so unlikable and being such
Yeah.
assholes. Like it was.
Yeah, well, the one guy is kind of nice, but then they're with this like European guy that's kind of like a male gigolo, I guess. Like he just,
Yeah.
and then like the other guy that survives is kind of just there. Like you don't, like he kind of supposed to redeem himself at the end with something that he does, and like it was
Yeah.
fine. I had higher expectations walking into it, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah, and I like because I went to this. I seen this in theaters with my buddy back in the day,
Mm.
and I came out going, "Holy crap! I can't believe I just seen all that on the big screen. Like that much sexual stuff, that
Oh,
much
sexual,
nudity,
the
like blood."
violence.
I'm like, "Holy
Yeah,
crap!"
I think in 2005 this would have been a big deal. The
Yeah.
problem is I'm watching it 15 years later.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
really what it is, right? Like I don't think it was a bad movie. I just think I'm so desensitized by the stuff we can see now that
Yeah.
like I was like, all right, I get it. You hired a whole bunch of fucking supermodels to walk around in their bras and panties and have these sex scenes,
Yep.
right?
Pretty
But in
much.
2005 that would have been a big deal,
Right. Exactly.
right? So,
Yeah, and I guess I'll jump into the three that I would bring up,
hmm.
mention, and it was a trilogy I decided to check out on Shudder, and that is House LLC, Hell House 2, The Abaddon Hotel, and Hell House 3, Lake of Fire. Wow. I've heard of these movies since they've come out, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, found footage. All right, they sound okay. They sound okay. Holy fuck, these movies were creepy as hell. Like,
Yeah, they are.
especially the
They're really
first two.
good found footage movies.
They are. And like, yeah, the first one, that's talking about how they, built up a haunted attraction and then like, the ghost and demon that's in the house or whatever starts wreaking havoc on everybody and the
Hmm.
shit that happens throughout it. Like, fuck, it's creepy. Like, and it's just so subtle. It's all low budget, like, but the way they put everything to like move things and just set things up, like it just has that like really like haunted vibe to it. And then part two is, investigators going in and like trying to find out more information and same thing, extremely freaking creepy. Um, and then part three is the weaker of the three, but I still really enjoyed it because I love the concept of this rich tycoon buys the place to turn it into a like live drama theater where you're
Hmm.
like a walk through theater, like where you're just pretty much walking into each room and it's a scene playing as soon as you walk in the room and then shit starts happening like while they're there. And man, like every one of these movies had me on the edge of my seat. Like
So good.
I had not been that unnerved in so long. Like bravo to those filmmakers because damn though, those were good. Like I could see rewatching these around this time of year every year now.
Absolutely. It was a really it's a really well done series. The scares in it are very good jump scares. I saw it earlier this year. Yeah, I think you just summed it up really perfectly. It's a great set of films. I really like them.
Yeah, I was really impressed because I just thought I would just went in expecting to be okay. These are decent, and yeah, I was blown away. But yeah, that's the only ones I will talk about because I don't remember. I don't know if I've seen many older films.
He's been too busy like traveling,
Yeah,
you know?
just living my life.
Just living your hashtag best life.
Hashtag best life.
So we'll break into what we've been listening to. I've been meaning to shout out this podcast for a long time, and I just haven't got a chance to. And it is No Fucking Way, also known as NFS. NFW. And it is, I guess you could say the leader of it is Nudie,
Yep.
Neil Lemoyne, also from It's Not Horror Okay, and the Hard to Kill podcast. And it's one of the longest running podcasts on the Horrorphilia Network when it was still the Horrorphilia Network. He's joined by Suzanne, Gary Hill, Willis Wheeler, oh my gosh, Jake. And occasionally other special guests will come on. I got one of my starts in podcasting on NFW. I was on Kill the Cast, and then I became friends with Neil, and he got me to go on NFW. And that's where I saw that Trick or Treat movie about the kid that plays those fucking pranks. And I saw Scare House and Haunt on that podcast too. It was actually around this time last year that I was doing that with them. And it's a great commentary. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, I guessed on there once you got me to join.
Yeah, I forgot what we did.
Trying to remember what the Funhouse Massacre.
The Funhouse Massacre.
Because it was the one you picked.
Oh man, what a good movie. I love
fun.
Funhouse Massacre. It's a fun movie. Anyway, they are a blast. They make jokes throughout the film. They're silly. You know, you're not watching NFW to have in-depth conversations. Anyone who thinks that is silly. Listening to them. It is you're listening to them to hear some offensive material that you find funny, and to hear them make fun of each other and make fun of the movie. And yeah, you can sync it up to the movie and watch it too, which I don't think a lot of people do. But if you want to just laugh and relax, they're where it's at. And they currently moved to the Dark Discussion Network. And I should be joining them this upcoming episode to do Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, because I was saying Nudie invited me onto that one too, and I don't know if I'll be making it, but...
Well, we don't want you there, so...
I know.
But yeah, so check them out. They're on the Dark Discussions Network, and they're definitely a fun group to listen to.
Yep, I completely agree, because that was when I first started talking to you. Like, I didn't know you were doing any of the NFW stuff, so I went back and listened to the shows that you told me you were on, and it was a way to get to know you as well as just listening to everybody else, just joking and have fun. And yeah, it was great. And the show I am going to talk about, it's more of a YouTube style podcast, and that is our friend in our Friday Nightmares podcast page, Phil Ray. He does a podcast with his friend Peter Baird, and they are both Brazilian, I believe, and they do what is this called? What We Watched. And it's, I believe, weekly, and they will just go through, they'll record live, and people can come on and watch them live while they're talking about the films, or you can just watch it later after it's been recorded. But they just go through and talk about all sorts of films like that they've watched throughout the last week or so. And it's not always horror films with them, like, because they are just movie buff in general. They love everything in the genre, of all genres. And so, like, you could get a nice tidbit of information of stuff that we may not be too privy of with the information, because we're so embedded in the horror film genre. So there may be something that may intrigue us that we've never watched before or even heard of. I believe, though, this month, because it's October spooky season, I think they've been focusing on a lot of horror films they've never seen before and talking about them. Because I know, coming up, I think he says he's going to be talking about that Never Hike in the Snow short film.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Phil's so smart.
Oh, he is. He is a freaking encyclopedia of movie knowledge.
But it's not just that, it's how he communicates.
Yeah.
If you read his post or you listen to him, he's very clear with his thought process, and he does a very good job of defending not necessarily defending, but proving his points on whether he likes a movie, a concept behind a movie, how he feels about it. And he's a good looking dude. Phil, I hope you're listening to this and you are a good looking man. And you present yourself so professionally and so well. It's, I always enjoy reading what you have to say. And honestly, if Phil likes a movie, I'll be like, it's probably a good movie.
Yep, that's pretty much how I am.
I feel the same way about Craig. I think Greg is extremely intelligent as well too. Craig Wooten? Yep. Is that how we say it? Also very, very smart man. And I think we're great to have these really smart listeners. It's a shame that we don't sound as smart. We try. We try, but no, I absolutely. I'm glad you shouted out his YouTube show.
Yeah, it is totally worth checking out. And yeah, I'll be putting a link in our show notes for people to see, and if people want to go check it out. And I'll probably even have him promoted on our page.
And maybe we can have Phil replace Scott.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
wow.
Phil will be like, Heather, I don't want to put up your shit.
Probably. I can see that.
Like, that's a full-time job to babysit your ass, Heather.
So is people.
It really, like, it's a lot of work. It's not
Keeping
even
you
a
in line
lie.
is tough.
It's true, and it's hard to do. It's like taming a wild donkey.
A wild donkey.
Just
Oh my
bucking away
God.
everywhere. I just want to eat. I don't want to come when people tell me to come. It's really it's
Wow, I could
frustrating.
take that many ways.
What is wrong with you and donkeys? Is there something you need to talk about, Scott?
I mean, there are the donkey shows, unfortunately.
I went to a donkey sanctuary where for rescued donkeys. I'm not taking you there.
No, don't.
anymore.
Oh God, why would you even say that? That's
You
horrible.
don't get to go to the donkey sanctuary now.
That's
Because I don't
horrible.
trust you around and they have all different breeds of donkeys. They have short donkeys, big donkeys. They actually have donkeys that are bred with horses, and they look really fucking funny because they're
I
like
can
a
imagine.
donkey is a horse. It's actually really, really funny.
Just don't take Tim Davis there because he'll punch him.
No, I'm at this point. I feel Tim's a much safer person than you to take to go see the donkeys. Actually,
Wow.
why don't you go back to petting your cats? I like how. And another shout out to Darian.
Darren from the
Darren,
Psychosemantic.
where he makes memes of you with the cats. How I made the one comment about you and your cats, like, who runs the world? Cats. Who runs Scott's world? Cats. And then he had the meme of you covered in cats. It was the best.
Oh, where I was
my
the
God.
cat lady from The Simpsons.
Yes, it's so true though. You have 5 cats, so like it's not
far off. No.
Like, people joke, but like that's hashtag your life.
It is. I am surrounded by felines everywhere.
You got pussy everywhere, huh, Scott?
What is the character's name from 007? Pussy Galore.
Oh yes, for sure. That is exactly, you are like 007. So we are
Sean
going
Connery.
to oh my God. God help me. All right. So we're going to break into our main part of our podcast. But first, we have some messages from some friends of ours. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Cha-cha.
Are you sick of the same old stale podcasts? Well, then join Vanessa and Darren as they dissect movies of all kinds. The two lifelong cinema lovers bring their favorites, curiosities, and first-time watches to the operating table and inject them with a healthy dose of snark. Then there's the waiting room, where they examine books and short stories. So just look for them on Apple Podcasts and where fine podcasts are available. They're part of the Legion Podcast Network. Follow them on Twitter at VDClinicPod. Join them on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/VDClinicPod. Or email them at vdclinicpod@gmail.com. They're ready to cure what ails you. And still, they just might be a little contagious.
And welcome back, everybody. We are jumping into our main topic, which is Halloween-themed horror films. Now, we really didn't have any research we want to do for this because everyone knows the beginnings of Halloween and all that stuff, and other podcasters have done it and probably do it better than us. So what we wanted to kind of do with this episode was we picked 5 movies that we felt really kind of hit the Halloween feeling atmosphere. Because, there are amazing horror films that are based around Halloween, but just don't have that feeling of the holiday. So the ones that we were going to talk about, I will jump into our very first one, which is a sequel that has been maligned for many years and now is kind of seeing a resurgence in a lot of fan love, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It's a 1982 American science fiction horror film and the 3rd installment in the Halloween film series. It is the first film to be written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, the creators of Halloween, return as producers, and John Carpenter ends up coming back and doing the score for Halloween 3 as well, which love that score so
good.
much.
So good.
It is. And it is the only entry in the series that does not feature the antagonist Michael Myers, which is why it got maligned for so many years, because no one expected that. They wanted more Michael Myers, basically. But what John Carpenter wanted was to eventually turn this into Halloween, wanted to be turned into an anthology series where each movie was a different story. But the people having the money said, no, we want more Michael Myers. After the film's disappointing reception and box office performance, obviously Michael Myers was brought back in Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, and then continued on with the series. So this one is about a mask company called Silver Shamrock that has been making these Halloween masks for kids. They are a witch, a skeleton, and a pumpkin. And the commercial is promoted constantly throughout this movie. Silver Shamrock. But stars.
Well, do 3 more days till Halloween. Halloween. Do 3 more days till Halloween. Silver Shamrock. Yep.
I actually had that as my phone ringtone for a while during this time of year.
Of course you did.
Because I am a nerd.
I would have it too. I'm not.
It's
I'm
catchy.
not criticizing you.
It is so catchy. And this one stars the good old awesome Tom Atkins.
And excellent.
We have another person in here that you noticed recently when we watched it.
Me so smart.
You so smart.
It was Annie.
From Halloween 1.
So Nancy Loomis? But that's not her name. Nancy Keys? Nancy Keys. Because she goes by 2 different names. She goes by her stage name. And then she goes by her real name, like her actual name. And I believe her actual name is Nancy Keys. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Have you looked it up?
Yeah, because I was saying, because I always see her on like the Halloween movie as Nancy Loomis and stuff like. Because I always thought, oh, Loomis, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, right. So she's in this as the ex-wife, and this was the first time I caught it.
Yeah, because I didn't even know that. I'm usually good at recognizing faces. Like, oh, I know that person from somewhere. I didn't even recognize her.
Yeah, there was something that she said to Tom Atkins, and I was like, holy fuck, is that the same chick that played Annie? And then I looked it up and I'm like, what do you know? Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's freaking cool.
Right? So
a nice little tie into the series.
It is. And I think that's some good continuity of like connecting the movies, right? I agree. This movie got shit on. And I will be honest with you. The first time I saw this movie, I loved it. I loved it. I didn't care. I was surprised that Michael Myers wasn't in it. But I saw the Halloweens backwards. I saw 4, 5 first.
Okay. Because I think I seen 4, then part 3. Like I was just kind of like, because I've told you before how back when I was a kid, I would pick them by VHS covers.
Oh, right.
And Halloween 3 had the cooler looking VHS cover than most of the regular Halloween movies.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Did you like it?
I was kind of like okay with it. Like I think I because of how young I was, I think I was just like, it's kind of okay. It's kind of boring because it was a little more, almost sci-fi-ish in a way.
It is more sci-fi-ish, right? Like the masks are kind of sci-fi-ish for sure, even though they use a Stonehenge and shit like that. It's pretty good for representing Halloween time, I think, though.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, as I've gotten older and watched it a couple more times, like it's a solid horror film. Like I really enjoy it, and it's cheesy, but I do enjoy it, and like especially the ending with the way that it like kind of gives that downer ending of like, well, there goes the world's population of children.
Well, whoever, except for the poor kids that couldn't afford a Halloween mask.
Right.
But
yeah, I do agree though. This one does represent Halloween pretty well because I mean it's the season. You see the kids out trick or treating. You have everybody like going out and buying these masks. You're actually at the mask companies seeing the masks getting produced and all that stuff. So this one just had like that feeling of the season for sure.
I think it did a great job of building up. You know, it starts off with what is it? October 23rd. So it's
it starts off 8 more days till Halloween.
Right.
Halloween. Like, and they even give you that countdown throughout it, which is nice.
And you see the kids are excited. He goes back to he shows up at his ex-wife's house and he brings different masks, but they have the shamrock ones. Here's my only issue with the shamrock thing. I seriously doubt that all kids would want that mask. And here's my arguing as to why. As a kid, I was super pissed if someone had the same costume as me.
Yep.
Like if I went out somewhere and someone had the same costume, I was like, motherfucker, I can't believe the same costume as me. So I can't imagine all these kids now wanting to buy the same mask. Now, if you recall, McDonald's used to have those buckets.
Yes. And they were like the same ones.
Yes. And I would buy, everyone wanted a bucket because those were cool. And you could get them from McDonald's and they were marketed well. I don't know if everyone would want to wear the same mask, but who knows? Maybe they would. Either way, it's a smart concept. And
it is the one big plot hole that I thought of when I was watching it this time around. The big showing at 9. 9 what? Central? Eastern? Mountain time? So does Tim Davis and Daniel put the mask on 14 hours ahead of us, and then all of a sudden we hear about it and go, hey, we probably shouldn't put the masks on. That just happened to everybody in Australia.
You're right. Well, this is just pretending that no one else exists except for the Central or the Midwest. It's going Midwest in the United States at 9 p.m. That's a really good point, Scott. Yet again, like, it doesn't take time zones into consideration.
No, it does not.
It's a fucking Halloween film. But it's a good point. And the on-screen flashing pumpkin is really cool. The magic pumpkin that they have in it.
Yeah.
Even like that scene where the kid, it's in the factory and that family gets to do the tour and the kid's sitting in front of the TV and his mask kind of like melds onto him, and then those snakes and the fucking spiders and all that shit starts crawling out of his mask. Oh my God.
Yeah, because his head basically turns into a rotting pumpkin.
It does. And and this whole town's kind of removed from where the Shamrock factory is. And I don't know if you ever get a total straight answer as to why they're doing this.
I think it was I forget the guy's name. They say it multiple times and I forget it now, but like he kind of gives
Cochran?
Cochran. He gives that kind of cocky I'm the main villain. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this to Dr. Chalice. And it was because like every hundreds of years or whatever, like everything aligns correctly and they need a mass sacrifice. And so it's the children.
They're sacrificing the mass kids, right? Yeah. Looking back on watching it this time, it is a little slower than I remember. The Halloween factor is more the build up to Halloween. It's more the kids running around, everyone getting the mask and the TV and the song. I don't feel it has the same Halloween. It doesn't do Halloween night well. It does build up to Halloween night.
Yes.
Well.
It
Halloween
builds up like
night
the excitement
is
of Halloween.
Tom Acton's freaking out for like fucking 2 hours.
You do see like just quick like almost montages of children walking around in their costumes with their trick-or-treating bags and stuff, but that's about it.
I didn't find myself on this watch. I was kind of like, maybe we should have chose this because it doesn't really represent Halloween night. But I will say the build-up to Halloween night is well done. And when you're a kid, it is very exciting. Like you get closer to the Halloween day, you get your costume together, you maybe went out and got those McDonald's buckets. I used to collect for UNICEF as well. So they would have UNICEF boxes at our school and I would get my UNICEF box that I was going to go collect money. You guys didn't do UNICEF.
I'll say I recognize it. Like I just don't think I ever ended up getting involved.
Well, you're not a good person. That's clearly why. And you would decorate the house and stuff. And my mom used to like super decorate and shit. And so I feel like it did the build up well, but Halloween night was basically like a freak out. And then I agree, the ending scene though, where the kids are in front of the TV and he's getting them to shut it off on every channel. But eventually there's a channel where it starts playing. He's like, shut it off, shut it off, shut it off, shut it off. And that's how it ends. It's good. Like, it's a good movie. And I think it gets shit on because it didn't have Michael Myers. But I do agree that people are coming back around to it. And it's a good little Halloween story. Like, it really is. It's an easy movie to watch. And the song and the music is catchy as anything.
Yeah, exactly. The one thing I really, really, really wish I would have got to see in this film was what happens when it hits 9 o'clock and the skeleton and the witch mask. Because we see what happens when it's the pumpkin mask and the pumpkin rots and decays. what happens to the kids that are wearing the skeleton mask and the witch mask? I want to see.
Probably
what,
the
like,
same shit.
Yeah, I wondered if it'd be the same thing or if like they kind of like had something different because of the mask. I'm not sure, but I was just kind of curious to see.
They didn't have the budget for that, Scott.
I
Why
know.
are you expecting things that we're not gonna? You want time zones to line up? You want fucking bells and whistles and practical effects, Scott? Just be happy you got a fucking Halloween movie. God.
I am happy, but like I said, they're just things I would like to see. I mean,
No wonder you didn't collect for UNICEF. I can see now why.
Wow. All right, fine.
Did you ever go bobbing for, I wish they showed bobbing for apples in this. Did you ever go bobbing for apples? You can never do that now in COVID-19 or probably even leave.
I've tried bobbing for apples. I sucked at it.
Oh yeah, so did I. It's like you're gonna drown, right?
Yeah, exactly.
trying to get. I sounded like I was doing something else there, but that was supposed to be me bobbing for apples.
Yeah. Trust me, guys. What the motion she was showing? She was doing what you were thinking. No.
Yeah, bobbing for apples, definitely. I do that other motion too. I have no problem admitting to that.
I mean, you obviously do.
I obviously do. Oh my god. Well, Heather, rumor has it. Shut up, Scott. You and your time zone and your fucking what happened with the skeleton and witch mask. I'll tell you what happened. Fucking worms and snakes came out of them. That's what fucking happened, Scott. It's okay. Snakes are not prejudiced. They will come out of the witch mask and they will come out of the skeleton mask too. It's fine.
Oh, I'm on a roll tonight. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's okay. It's been a great night. Love dolls. Bobbing for apples, bobbing for other things, time zones. Just a regular time here on Friday Nightmares podcast. As you can see, we're very professional. Maybe you should go back and listen to Phil. Can we plug his YouTube channel again?
We are so off the rails. I love
it. Anyway, where does this stand on your Halloween spectrum of if we include it in the Halloween films? Where would you put it?
Like in the franchise?
Yeah. No Halloween films ever. I want to know.
I was gonna say that'd be.
You're like, oh man, Heather, I wasn't prepared for that fucking question. And no, in the franchise.
I think I would be because I haven't seen part 5 since I was a kid, and I haven't seen part 6 at all. But I would say I like it is equal to part 4, so it's 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 would be about equal for me.
I would say it's probably 4th on the list for me, 4th or 5th. Like, I enjoy it. I think it's a fun movie. I think a lot of people, well, not anymore shit on it. They definitely move forward with it. But yeah, that's a good film.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, I'm going to get you to introduce these films since you're doing so well.
All right. So next one is probably one of my favorite 80s Halloween.
Is there bobbing for apples in this one, Scott?
No, but there is apple pie.
Bobbing for cock. Anyway.
Oh.
Oh my god. That was Scott, everybody. That was Scott.
I was bobbing for apples, folks.
Bobbing for apples. Anyway.
Anyways. All right. So the next film we're going to talk about is Night of the Demons from 1988. And it's an American supernatural horror film directed by Kevin S. Tenney, written and produced by Joe Augustin, starring Amelia Kincaid, Kathy Podwell, Linnea Quigley, Hal Havens, and Alvin Alexis. The plot follows a group of high school students who throw a party inside an isolated funeral parlor.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
While attempting a seance, they accidentally release a demon who ends up possessing them one by one.
This was so 80s. Like, it couldn't have been any more 80s.
Oh, this is... What did I tell you? This is the punk rock of horror, just like Return of the Living Dead.
It totally is.
Oh, I love this movie. This is like a 9 out of 10 for me. Like, I have so much fun with it. Like, I love a lot of the characters, but unfortunately, the characters I actually like are not the main ones that survive, because the surviving ones are annoying as hell.
Oh my god, the girl that plays the good girl. What is her name? Judy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Judy. God, you're annoying, Judy. Stop being so annoying.
Her voice and everything was just so great.
Well, she was so over the top good girl.
Oh,
like, it was like her boyfriend goes to kiss her outside the house and she's like, her boyfriend's name is Jay.
Yeah. Jay.
Hey, don't. don't rush it. I'm like, oh my God, like he's just kissing you, girl. Like this isn't like he wasn't asking you to bob for apples. Like
Right. Oh, and
you know,
I gotta bring up the awkward scene in the beginning of this movie.
oh, about the brother with the tits.
Yeah, the little brother just popping out of her closet as she's getting dressed. Bodacious boobies, sis. It's like, oh my
Bodacious
God.
boobies. Or he makes the comment to Jay, like, you only like my sister because she has big titties or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like the context of what he's. I thought that was funny. I was laughing.
Oh, I was laughing too, but it's just like, oh, that is so incestuous.
But it's just like when she's talking to her boyfriend. Okay, we're gonna go to the Halloween dance. No, everyone's going to the dance. We should go to a party with that weird girl from Suzanne. Suzanne is throwing
Angela.
that party. Oh, Angela. Sorry,
Yeah.
Angela. So Angela and her friend Suzanne are throwing a party. So I was right. And then, fuck's sakes,
I have to ask this question right now. Would you go to a Halloween party thrown by Angela?
No.
I totally fucking would.
I wouldn't go to a fucking funeral parlor on Halloween night.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're
Like-
so dumb.
Like if the events of this movie didn't happen and it was actually set up to be like a real Halloween party, like just a lot of people showing up, not just like a handful that actually
Like
do.
that wasn't even a party. That was a group of people breaking into a house.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it was actually a Halloween party and Angela like hosted it, because in the remake, Angela does have like this big ass Halloween party set up.
For sure. I can imagine that. Like if there was snacks and drinks and a working washroom, yes, I go.
Yeah, it's like, cause I could see her throwing an awesome Halloween party, but like, yeah, the way this one was set up, it just no.
No, it's like a bunch of people drinking in a fucking smelly old funeral parlor. Now, mind you, it sets Halloween night very well. Several of the characters are dressed up.
Yep.
It definitely gave that 80s teenage feel, which is what they were going for, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like you had your partiers and you had your kind of good guy people. Like I forget the guy's name, but his father was a preacher. Who,
we can find out who he is. Hold on, I'll look him up. Roger.
Roger, because he's not the stereotypical African American in these 80s horror films that ends up getting killed early. No, he's going, fuck this. This is a bad deal. I'm out. And he leaves right off the bat.
Yeah, he does. And the other girl leaves with him too. She unfortunately ends up dying.
Yeah.
But I think Sal gets a bad rap. I didn't think he was. I thought he was funny. He's like this kid from the wrong side of the tracks that kind of got mixed up with these people. And the transformation to the demons, holy fuck, were they good?
Yeah. What was it? Linnea Quigley, because like the demons, Linnea Quigley and Angela looked amazing. The rest of the demons just kind of looked half-assed, but I think that's because they spent all their money on making Angela and Suzanne look the best.
Yes.
But yeah, Angela, like, there's a reason that she is in part 2 and part 3, like, as the main villain in those movies going forward.
Oh yeah, her makeup was just out of this world good.
And her voice.
Yeah. Really good. And it's really set the scene for Halloween, like creepy funeral parlor. You're partying with your friends. You do a fucking seance. Shit goes down. She does her little sexy dance at one point.
Like, oh my God, good. That dance like unnerves me. It's because of that strobe light and just like how it's like missing a beat every single time she's moving. Like she's just missing like and then back on screen. Like because I've always wondered how they did that, and I'm like, now that I've been playing around with editing, I'm going, oh yeah, they just chopped up the editing a little bit and like took out little sections of it, so she's like hopped forward instead of like showing that scene. I'm going, that makes sense now, but I love it because it's like so effective.
It's really smart. And the casting scene where Max and Fanny have sex in the costume, like totally Halloween shit. Like, hey, you know what we should go fuck in a coffin. And then you know what though I thought was the most Halloween theme was the small wraparound story with the older gentleman that puts the razor blades in the apples, because we all know that's a myth. It's actually, it's not fully a myth. It has happened, but it's typically happened, I think, up to a book I read recently. It may have happened since, but not to the mass scale you like to think it is. It's usually people that you know that are trying to hurt your kid, right? Yes, exactly. So it's a family member or whatever. And I enjoy how he puts these razor blades and shit in the apple, and then his wife makes the fucking apple pies. And
Yeah.
then the blood and stuff starts cutting through his throat and killing him. Like, that was honestly my favorite Halloween part of it.
Yeah, because like she even says at the end, "Happy Halloween, honey," or something like that.
But it just pulled into the folklore so well of
Oh, it
this,
did.
This myth and this belief. Well, not myth, this small circumstance that has occurred. And I just thought that was great. Like, I enjoyed the demon stuff. I enjoyed the funeral parlor and the haunted Halloween night and these teenagers getting together to party. And of course, like, the one dude's too cool for a costume and the other people wear one. But that wraparound to me was like, fuck yeah, Halloween.
Yeah, like that whole
Like,
because even the kids you see running around trick or treating and stuff, and the old man's walking down the sidewalk with his groceries and
yeah. Like, it was just so well done. Like, definitely a really fun 1980s. I don't know if it was low budget because they put a lot of money into the practical effects, but really good film. Easy to watch. I would definitely watch it again. And when they're walking down the street, I felt like it was a shout out to Thriller because their clothes were kind of
yeah,
like how they look in the Thriller video. That's what I took away from that. And he's like, young kids. And I don't know when the Thriller video came out, but I feel like it came out in the 80s.
yeah, it was like 84, 85.
So I wondered if that was a little like shout out to the Thriller video.
Oh, it could be. And
right?
Yeah, like speaking of the effects, I mean, you gotta talk about this weird ass scene with Linnea Quigley. The whole running the lipstick down and inserting it into her nipple.
Yeah.
Didn't need to have that in the movie, but they added it.
it was yeah. And you know what though? Like, she definitely had the body that you would get naked for, right? So I totally dig that. That didn't stand out to me. Honestly, what stood out to me was the demons and that old man with those apples and then them walking down the street. Like, if I pulled away stuff from that movie that represented Halloween to me, it was those things.
Okay, yeah, because I think with me, I pulled that scene out because it's just so like, what's going on here? It's just so weird. Mm-hmm. And then another thing I pull away from this every time, fucking Stooge. He is such a fucking dick.
Oh, him? Yeah.
Oh my God, he cracked me up. Like, I'm gonna have to pull my mic away for this, but I was like, he has like some of the greatest lines, like, eat a bag of fuck, or eat a bowl of fuck. I'm here to party.
Oh yeah, he's like calling that chick bitch the entire time. I would have fucking
shut up, bitch,
him in the fucking face.
Oh, he is such an asshole.
Oh my God, he's such a dick.
But he has like some of the funniest one-liners. Like, like he's one of those characters that I liked and hated at the same time.
I could not agree with you more. It was fuck. And like, even when like she's like, how does my makeup look? And he's like, not really into that. Like, it's Sal's reaction is fucking mint. But like, yet again, we're not doing a movie review. We're looking at how well does it represent Halloween. And I do think it does do a pretty good job of representing a teenager fantasy version of Halloween night. And also that old man skit with the apples, I thought was really, really clever.
Absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Like, because I think the reason I picked that one was mainly because it was the Halloween party with them being all dressed up.
Yes, you picked a couple.
The next one we'll be talking about, which is one of your favorites of this whole segment.
Yeah, your drama club did this one too, right?
Yes, they did, apparently.
Excellent.
All right. So the next movie we are talking about is Satan's Little Helper from 2004. It's an American black comedy slasher film directed and written by Jeff Lieberman. The film stars Alexander Brickle as Dougie, a 9-year-old boy video gamer who on Halloween meets a serial killer and unknowingly assists him in his murders. The film, which combines black comedy with horror, is Lieberman's first film as director in 17 years since 1988's Remote Control. Satan's Little Helper was praised by reviewers for its satire, elements of comedy, and characterization. So, Heather.
Why don't you talk about it first, Scott?
All right. I see you're just kind of building up the energy. I get it. So I chose this movie because, like I said, we're doing the Halloween theme. And I felt this one covered the Halloween aesthetic really well because, like, the whole entire time, Dougie is in a Satan costume. And he's called Satan's Little Helper because he's obsessed with this video game called Satan's Little Helper. And
which is very accurate for why someone would choose a costume and how they would become obsessed with it as a 9-year-old boy. So I will give that.
Yep, exactly. And You also have your serial killer who is dressed up as a monster, but technically Dougie looks at him as Satan, so he like just believes him and follows him around. And it just it's literally everything's happening on Halloween day and night, like throughout the whole entire thing. So you got your people, you can walking through people's yards with decorations all set up,
Mm-hmm.
talking about getting the Halloween candy. You go to a
Mm-hmm.
Halloween store,
Mm-hmm.
like everyone's getting dressed up. Mother's going to a Halloween party, and needless to say, it has those elements. But boy, oh boy, the acting.
Yeah, it's the acting's painful, but I will say that the scene, so there's a scene where Satan and Dougie are at the grocery store
Oh, I love the scene.
and it puts Dougie in a cart, and Dougie thinks this is all a game. So no one's dying for real or getting hurt for real. And he starts running over people. He's like, hit the blind guy, 50 points. Hit the pregnant woman, 20 points. So, reciting from the video game, right? So
Yep.
he thinks that's what they're doing. And I think most 9-year-olds could tell from fantasy to reality and would know that they're hitting people and that that's not okay. But it was funny. Like, that scene was funny. And I will definitely I chuckled out loud watching that. That was definitely my kind of humor, and I did enjoy it. I definitely think it's sad. The mom's so fucking weird. She puts her daughter in like the sluttiest costume.
Oh, I know.
Perceived as sluttiest costume or whatever, very revealing costume. And she's like, "Mom, why are you making me wear this? I just brought this guy over, and like we went to school together, but we kind of like this is our first date, but not our first date." And and she's all flirtatious with him, and they go out to the store to get a costume last minute, and he buys like the dumbest costume ever. Like, it's just,
I'm gonna take in my dad.
Yeah, right. He's like, my dad's like Satan. Like, it was just so fucking cheesy. But the Halloween party that the adults go to that night is great.
Yep.
People have sick costumes there. It's what you would imagine as an adult Halloween party. Definitely made sense when I thought about an adult Halloween party. The Satan wrapping up the mother's face with tape.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
mind you, her nose was already covered, so I don't know why the second final layer was going to all of a sudden put her out, but that's fine.
Right.
This movie was not one that you take seriously and try to follow any kind of plot on.
Not
and
at
I
all.
loved how they didn't have any Halloween candy. Like, this family's apparently all about the fucking cider, and here's a Halloween costume, and the kid's been wearing his costume for the past 5 fucking days, but the mother hasn't gone out to get any candy, and she just gives dollar bills out. Like, it was
Right.
but I feel like that's because that's what some people will do, is give out dollar bills. Like, I felt like that was just making fun of something that people would do in that time frame.
I mean, hell, I got dollar bills in my trick-or-treating when I went trick-or-treating a few times.
Right. Like, I feel like that's what that was playing to. Like, in Canada, we don't give out loonies and toonies. I know, loonies and toonies. But, like, I would never be like, here's a thing of loonies, kids. They'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
So, yet again, just a different scene. But I did like those little, I guess you could say, Easter eggs of like making fun of Halloween culture and stuff like that. I just found the movie horribly painfully acted and written and tough to get through, with the exception of some scenes.
Yeah, and like I said, I'd watched this beforehand like once, and then I'd rewatched it.
Were you high?
I was. I told you this was around the Stoner Scott days.
Yeah, you must have been fucked up.
Yeah, I guarantee I was ripped out of my freaking gourd.
Yeah.
And yeah, rewatching it, I'm going, oh, Heather's gonna kick my ass.
But I'm trying to pull out from the things that represented Halloween.
Yep, and this one, out of the 3 we've talked about so far, I feel is one of the better ones. Like, has the Halloween theme.
Yes, absolutely. Would I watch it again? No. But will I give it credit for having enough little Halloween things in it? Absolutely.
Yeah, this one might be something I'll rewatch, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Don't show any woman you start dating this, okay? Please, God, do not show them this film. They will never come to your house again.
Okay, fine. But what if they like bad movies?
No, this isn't even a good bad movie. Like, this is something that a real horror fan, like, unless you meet someone that's like, I really fucking love every single horror movie, then show them this.
I guess. Okay. Fine.
Or no, just go ahead and be single for the rest of your life. That's fine too, because this is what this movie will get you. Right?
But yeah, I
You
am
will
glad.
not. No one will be bobbing for your apple, Scott, if you
Oh,
show them
wah,
this
wah.
movie. Scott's like, hold on, you're almost there. Just put your head back down.
Oh my god. Oh yes. But, yeah, I just wanted to bring this one. I'm glad I brought this one into the topic.
Oh, me too. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, because I knew it had that good Halloween feel to it, so I'm glad I brought it in. I
Me
regret
too.
watching it, but
I'm so glad you brought it in.
oh, but the
You made
next
my
one
life.
though, see, you're better for it now.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm a better person now. All right, why don't you bring in this next bitch?
All right, this next bitch. The next one we are talking about is, I don't think anybody's ever heard of this movie.
Probably not.
Trick or Treat from 2007. The reason I say treat or treat is because there are several trick or treats, trick or treat. So this is the 2007 American horror anthology film written and directed by Michael Dougherty and produced by Bryan Singer.
Just
film stars.
Okay, hold on. Do you?
What?
Sorry, but you know how you kept going on with trick or treat there.
Mhm.
Do you ever like say to chicks you're going on dates with, "Girl, you want a trick or a treat?" And they're like, trick." You're like, "You sure you don't want a treat?" They're like, "Oh no, I'm sure."
I'm gonna try that next time.
Yeah, let me know how it goes.
I
Please.
will.
After you show them fucking Satan's Little Helper, let me know how that goes.
While I'm showing them Satan's Little Helper.
Maybe that's the plan. And then they'll start
Maybe-
bobbing for apples just to drown themselves.
Maybe they'll appreciate my Satan's Little Helper.
Oh my god. What is wrong with you? Oh my god, dude gets one fucking date and he thinks that he's a fucking playboy. All right, continue reading this movie.
I'm totally cutting a lot of that out.
Okay.
I'm gonna start from the very beginning. Then, all right.
Okay.
So the next film we're talking about is Trick or Treat from 2007, which is an American horror anthology directed by Michael Dougherty and produced by Bryan Singer. The film stars Dylan Baker, Rochelle Ailes, and Anna Paquin and Brian Cox. It tells 4 Halloween horror stories with a common element in them. Sam, a mysterious child trick-or-treater, wearing shabby orange footy pajamas with a burlap sack over his head. The character makes an appearance in each of the stories whenever a character breaks the Halloween tradition. Now, this is what I would say, epitome of what a Halloween themed film should be like. This just screams Halloween throughout every inch of this film.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Like it goes through, like I love that beginning where it shows the trick or treat safety guidelines, like the black and white video footage.
Yep.
Like I was like, yeah, I remember seeing stuff like that when I was in elementary school. And
do you still watch it?
I do. But no, like in each story has like a different tale of Halloween and like breaking a certain Halloween tradition. So you got your first little wraparound story with the couple coming home from their Halloween party, and the girlfriend breaks tradition by tearing down the Halloween decorations.
Yeah, she decides that they want to take it down overnight, which is a lot of work. I don't know who would fucking come home and be like, I was watching it with a friend and we were both like, who the fuck would come home and be like, oh man, this is the time to clean all this shit up. Like they came from a party.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, came from a big ass party.
Like where they were drinking and shit. I'd be like, yeah, let's go inside and eat some fucking candy or go to bed or have some sexy times. Like that's what I'd be looking to do.
Right.
I wouldn't be like, oh, time to clean up the fucking yard. Like,
well, I mean, hell, even the husband thought that. Like, he's like, I'm going to go inside and watch our video. And he got himself ready and was waiting for her.
Right. And like, I just didn't get the, and it was for someone that wasn't into Halloween, it was a pretty big setup.
Yeah. Like lots of pumpkins, lots of like ghosts hanging from trees and cemeteries and stuff. It was a like fully decorated yard. But yeah, she broke Halloween tradition, and then little old Sam had to pretty much kill her and turn her into a jack-o'-lantern herself.
Now, what was interesting is that she heard stuff across the street. You caught that, right? And then she gets killed.
Yes.
And that ties into the end of the story.
Yep. I love
Right.
how everything ties together. Like even those little subtle noises, everything just
Yeah.
ties together.
Everything just ties together. And then there was the principal, Charlie, an obsessed vandal who smashes jack-o'-lanterns, is caught stealing candy from an unattended bowl left by the school principal, Steve Wilkins. So he lectures Charlie, which is the same kid from Bad Santa,
Yep, Bad Santa.
right? And then this kid starts like vomiting blood.
Oh, and his vomit was like freaking
Oh man, it was
projectile vomit.
gross. And then like you find out that this guy has a kid, and he's trying to bury Charlie in the back, in the backyard, and fuck, it's funny. Like
And the little kid, his little son is so adorable. Just go watch Charlie Brown's Halloween. Charlie Brown's an asshole.
yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, and then the neighbor comes outside and is like, this old neighbor's yelling at him, he's trying to hide the body. Like it was very Halloweeny. Like, and I guess his issue was he didn't like when kids weren't grateful for Halloween. Is that what it was?
No, for him, I think it was just he didn't
Psycho?
like. Yeah, I think he was just a psycho that was kidnapping children and like using them, because you get that reveal at the end of the story with him and his son carving the jack-o'-lantern, and it's the boy's head.
Yes.
So I think he's just like a psycho that's teaching his son to be a psycho as well, because you see the principal in the Red Riding Hood story later.
Yes, it ties into later where he says he has a date, and he mentions I have a date later.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it shows his psychopathic tendencies there too.
Right. And it was, and he's coming up behind his son with the knife, and you're like, holy fuck, what's gonna happen here?
Because his kid was being kind of annoying and driving him nuts.
Right. Like you're just like, how the fuck is this gonna go down? No, it was really well done. And yeah, Billy doesn't seem upset. His kid, and of course his kid's name is Billy. Always,
of course.
Right? The Halloween school bus massacre. This one was actually sad.
Yeah, with like this is the one with the slow children on the bus.
Yeah, like so the kids that they weren't necessarily slow, but they had like
or special. I think.
Either they were angry or they had other things going on.
Oh,
and
that's
they were
right,
on
because they
the
were
bus
chained and stuff.
And the parents wanted to get rid of them, and they paid the bus driver to drive them off the cliff. And meanwhile, you see that these kids that come into the story have been collecting pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, and they have that one girl that's new to town that has all those beautiful pumpkins that she's carved, those jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh, like her yard was
Rhonda.
freaking amazing. Yeah.
And I had a really hard time at that bus school. I'm not someone that enjoys when bad things happen to kids.
No.
Like I really don't. Like, especially in something like they were, basically murdered. I have a hard time with that. Now I know it's trick or treat, and I'm not trying to be like it was a serious story or anything like that. But I thought the prank was very good that they pulled on Rhonda, and the whole going down the shaft elevator and keeping the pumpkins lit was very, very well done. And then the zombies come out of the bus.
Yep. When they put when the pumpkin lights go out, the zombies arise.
Right? Like, and then Rhonda goes, I thought she was going to let that one kid back in though.
Yeah, so did I. The one that was actually being kind of nice to her.
Yeah, and she was like, fuck you.
Fuck you. I'm out.
Right?
And I love when she goes all the way back up to the elevator, and you're still hearing the kids screaming.
Yep.
You see cute little old Sam just sitting there waggling his feet, just sitting on the edge, just eating his little sucker. and
they nod at each other.
Yeah, they just nod at each other and they go by.
Right? And then you hear howling in the distance.
Yep, which ties.
But you heard that earlier when the kids are sitting there waiting to go down.
Yeah.
Like her and the other kid, you hear the howling then.
Yeah, which ties into the other story, which is the Little Red Riding Hood one.
But I thought those kids were wearing accurate costumes. The one girl being really bitchy. Like it really did flow well together.
It does. Like pretty much this movie, like everything works perfectly and is designed the way it is for a reason.
Absolutely.
And it flows just one into the other so well.
Absolutely. And the whole setting, like it's foggy. It gives you that real campfire-y ghost story. Like the school bus massacre one is very campfire-y story, right? And then Lori, a self-conscious young woman, arrives in town with her sister Danielle and friends. They pick up dates and save Lori, who wants her first time to be special and declines their invitation for a get-together. And that's where she runs into the Wilkins.
Yep, the guy from the
pretend like
second
it's a
story.
you think he's a vampire. Well, you don't know it's him. You
Right.
see this guy that's presenting as a vampire killing this chick.
Yep, because he's literally like biting into her neck and blood being drawn, and
Right, like real fucked up shit.
it's all
And
during like a masquerade style party.
right, and then he follows her, he confronts her, and then they bring him back to the bonfire. You realize it's him. The fake vampire teeth, when she pulled those out, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Fucking
and
awesome.
that whole scene when they're like transforming too, like because it's all these women are like they just brought everybody here to get eaten.
Well, and they're hot girls, right? They're all good looking
Yep.
chicks, and then they all transform, and the transformation's pretty fucking good. Like it's well done.
I loved that type of werewolf transformation where they're actually like ripping their skin off and throwing it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like instead of like the hair growing through it, they're just like ripping it off like it's a costume.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was really fucking cool.
And yeah, you see Sam in the corner on the sitting on a stump in that one, just kind of once again just watching and enjoying.
Yep.
And like you hear the howls, which breaks into another part of the story again. And
yep. And then Sam eventually when Wilkins is burying Charlie's body, Keegan scares away the children to steal their candy, aided by his dog. Sam breaks into his house. They have this huge fucking showdown shit. Kind of connects back to where Wilkins was going back into the house and he saw Keedy or whatever it is, the old man.
Oh yeah.
Looking for help. And then eventually he offers candy to Sam, and that fulfills the Halloween tradition, and Sam leaves. But he finds out later that
he finds out later that the ghost children show up, because we find out as viewers when you see a picture he was the bus driver to those children. And so it was just kind of like sweet revenge. But like, yeah, like this story, it's probably one of my favorites because it's pretty freaking scary. The way like Sam is stalking, he's like climbing on the ceiling and like all over the place. And you get that reveal of Sam with his mask off, and he's like this just childlike pumpkin.
Yeah.
And I love how like he gets blown to pieces, and you see Sam's cute little hand just kind of crawling around and like hooking itself back up to his arm, and like each part of him is just like he's like basically a living pumpkin that just keeps being able to rebuild himself. And he's such a cute little villainous like spirit of Halloween. I love it.
He is, and I kind of like how he spares him.
Yeah.
Because of I think he sees the photograph.
Yep, I think he sees the photograph, and yeah, he just wanted the candy for trick or treating, because I think Sam was the trick or treater in that story, wasn't he? Like the one that got the door slammed on him.
Yeah, and then the guy's giving out candy, and then the fucking kids show up, and then you realize he was the bus driver, because they had alluded that the bus driver had got away, but they never found him or whatever the case was, right?
Yeah.
So, and it all came together, and then that's what she hears, and then that's when Sam gets her. Like it's a very well wrapped around anthology for sure. Great film, definitely easily rewatchable. Captures Halloween night, captures adult parties, kids events, stories, the werewolf mythology, everything.
Yeah,
it's so well done.
Michael Dougherty has a knack for capturing the Halloween spirit, because like I said, he did Krampus as well, which is another amazing Christmas movie.
Absolutely. Krampus is a phenomenal film. Absolutely. No, I really enjoyed Trick or Treat.
Yep, it is. Yep. It is 10 out of 10. I love this movie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we will jump on to the last Halloween themed horror film we have on our list, and that is 2013's All Hallows Eve. It's another American horror anthology written, directed, and edited by Damien Leone in his feature film directorial debut. And the film is presented as a series of shorts that two children and their babysitter discover on an unmarked videotape on Halloween night, all of which feature a homicidal clown named Art. The film stars Katie McGuire, Catherine Callahan, Mary Macer, Kayla Leon, with Michael Gianelli as Art the Clown. It incorporates footage from 2006 short film The Ninth Circle, as well as the 2011 short film Terrifier, both of which were also directed by Leone and featured Art the Clown. So this one is one that you picked. So I'll let you go for this one.
Well, I just think it starts off well, right? After a night of trick-or-treating, the babysitter Sarah is surprised to see that the children, Tia and Timmy, have received an unmarked VHS tape in their bag. So this definitely could never work now because VHS, like, who is a VHS player?
Yeah, it'd be
Like-
a blank disc now.
Right? It'd be like,
Or a
got a
USB drive.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Oh my
I got
God!
I got a
It's all
thumb
the
drive.
Friday the 13th box set, but it's all part 5.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or it's all Jason Goes to Hell. Can you imagine? You get your box set, and it's all Jason Goes to Hell.
I'd be more
Some people
pissed if it was Jason X.
Oh, see, you're funny. So anyway, the kids convince her to watch this fucking tape. I would throw this tape out. I'd be like, we're not watching this fucking tape. I don't know where this shit came from.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
not doing this. You know, whatever. You would fucking watch it. Who are you?
I mean,
who are you?
no. If I was a babysitter with the kids, no, I would be watching it on my own. I'd be like,
I wouldn't even watch it on my own. I'd be like, fuck this. I'd throw it out. I'd be like, no, don't want to go down that road.
and this is why Heather will live and I would die.
Trouble down that road.
Lots of trouble down that road. Lot of
Right.
history down that road.
So the first story, and like the kids convince her, they're like, "Oh no, we should watch it." Or the boy does. It's the boy that really wants to see
Oh,
it,
the boy is like a little shit.
right? But the interaction's good. That came back from
Oh, yeah.
treating the pumpkin stuff like that. Like it's all very, very legit. So the first segment features a young woman named Casey who is drugged and kidnapped by Art the Clown while waiting for a train. Art the Clown's a little bit bigger in this one because it's not played by the same actor, right?
Yeah, he
He did a
has
pretty
just
good
kind of-
job.
Oh yeah, so he does a good job, but yeah, like he's like you can definitely tell the size difference. Like I think he's a little
Yes.
bit shorter and a
Yes.
little bit
A little more
wider.
stockier, right?
Yeah.
She's found herself chained with 2 other women. They're dragged away by their chains. Like it's a very good story. I don't consider this story very Halloweeny. Like even though you see the couple coming from a costume party, which is fine. You know, like they
Right.
kind of talk about like, oh, this came from a party, and like he's kind of dressed up, and that's why she's not acting weird about it because it's Halloween night. Because really, if it was like, you know, March 13th, and you saw March 13th was the day that everything shut down here, isn't that probably ironic that I used
That
that
is
day?
really freaking weird.
If it was May 18th, you would be like, why is this dude in a motherfucking clown costume? But if it
Right.
was like the 30th or the 31st, you'd be like, I know why this dude's in a fucking clown costume, right? Like you would not be surprised.
Right. Like this guy's in the fucking clown costume. Fuck, he's creepy. I'm gonna stay a little away from him.
Right? You just be like, this is a fucking weirdo in a clown costume. He's taking Halloween two steps too far or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of the story? Like, I think it's interesting, and like, you know, you find out there's a humanoid, and like,
It's different. Like it was like these stories, like this movie is very like kind of mean spirited in a lot of ways.
mhm.
And but yeah, this one didn't really have a whole lot to it, but it was still entertaining. Like
Yeah.
I'm because I think this is probably the weakest of the stories.
Yeah, and like she's raped by Satan. I don't think it's the weakest of the stories. I just think it's really fucking dark. And after the segment, like Sarah's like, I can't believe I let you guys watch this shit. And Timmy's like, I want to see more.
Right. That'd be like
Tina's
me as a kid.
I'm
Yay.
terrified. And she decides to continue to watch it. So she puts them to bed, tells them they have to go to bed, and then she keeps watching the shit.
Yep,
Like,
that's me.
I'm sorry, if I saw some chick get raped by Satan, I'd be like, hold on, 911. I have something that I think you should look at. I just think I
like,
just saw somebody, either this is a short film or this is like a snuff film or whatever it is. I don't feel safe having this.
Yeah, because that one, like, especially out of all the stories, because it's just like, what the fuck?
Like the rape scene alone would make you be like, or women being tied up to fucking chains in the subway.
Yeah,
But it wouldn't be a horror movie
exactly.
if people did that. So they
Right.
don't. And that's okay. So the second segment features a woman named Caroline who's just moved into a new country home. At night, a bright object crashes near the house and a power outage occurs. Caroline finds that her phone and her car are malfunctioning, so she's trying to get out. She tries to receive a call from her husband, and she basically finds out it's an alien. And then as she's dragged off, she pulls off an image of Art the Clown. So
Yep.
What
I
do you
like
think?
the story.
I don't like this one, so I don't have much to say.
Okay, see, I like the stalking and hunting in this one. The way the alien does everything. I especially love the way the alien looks because he's wearing what we perceive as the gray skin, black-eyed, skinny alien, but it's a freaking like helmet mask. It's not even his real face. So it like looks just even more weird. So I love that they did that. But yeah, this story itself doesn't have any feel to Halloween as well. Like
Zero.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah, zero.
It's just an enjoyable little short story for me.
It just ties Art the clown, right? Who
Yeah.
you can argue is, clowns are creepy. This dude was dressed up on Halloween night in the original one. That's kind of the continue through. It's really the wraparound story that does it for me.
Yes, the wraparound story like really screams Halloween. And I think this next story takes place on Halloween. I'm not sure.
So the third and final segment features a costume designer driving down an isolated road. Stopping at a gas station, she finds the attendant furiously kicking out Art, who has apparently smeared feces on the walls of the gas station bathroom, which is just like what he does in Terrifier.
Yep, I'll say he likes to do that apparently.
Right. The attendant fills her tank and hears a noise. Goes inside the gas station. He doesn't come out. Art chopping up the attendant's body. So she sees Art's chopping up the attendant's body. She flees. So I don't believe this is on Halloween. It's just Art being fucked up and chasing her.
Yeah,
and he chases her for quite some time.
Yeah, like and for the longest time, I thought this girl that he was chasing was the blonde like one that was like starting shit with him in Terrifier. Like, I actually had to look it up because I thought it was the same person. I'm going, I wonder if they just kind of brought her back in as kind of a tie to All Hallows Eve, but no, it's a different actress.
Well, she was dead, right? Like, she got cut up on the table and he amputated her and shit.
Oh yeah, he fucked her right up.
But the tie-in to me is the wraparound. So it's the VHS. It's the kids coming back from trick or treating. This is Halloween happening on Halloween. You're watching this creepy videotape. Everything is just playing into. You got this random shit in your bag. Who knows who gave it to you? So you don't even know who gave it. So I'm assuming this like the Ring, where you have to give it to someone else to pass the curse on, or maybe Art just continues to fucking stalk you. I don't know. They never explain that part of the mythology.
No, and they don't even ever do it in the sequel either.
I haven't seen the sequel.
Yeah, the sequel doesn't even follow any of this at all.
Okay. So disturbed, Sarah turns off the television. A home phone rings, and when Sarah answers it, she hears the costume designer from the third segment pleading for help, which is pretty fucked up that she would start hearing that, and it's a great tie into the movie, I think, anyway.
Yeah. And it kind of does that whole, I can't remember the name of the movie, but The Killers in the House.
Oh, When a Stranger Calls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of has like that nod almost too with Art.
Absolutely. The television turns back on and displays a dingy room, and Art steps into the frame and approaches Sarah from within the screen and begins to pound on the glass, which I think is fucking great. Like, I think that scene is fucking awesome. Like, it just kind of pulls on that whole creepiness of Halloween night. Sarah sees herself on the television screen with Art behind her. She frantically removes the tape from the VCR and smashes it on the floor, destroying it. Then she goes up to check on Timmy and Tia and finds out that Art has murdered them. But you don't even know if it's real or not, because like you're not sure if she's hallucinating. Because he's just standing there with the blood. And
he's doing his silent laugh.
Right? And his silent laugh. And it's so fucking creepy for Halloween. Like, he came through the screen and came after her. It's fucked up. Like, that wraparound is honestly like probably the first story gets to me, and the third story and the wraparound.
Yeah, like those stories are like very dark,
but they flow better. It's like he left the chick from the first one, and then he came back in a different, I guess, because he's supposed to be kind of a humanoid too in the first one, or he's feeding a humanoid. So I guess they kind of do make sense. But it's the wraparound that really reminds me of Halloween night.
Yep, I completely agree. And I mean, and speaking of Halloween night, like, Terrifier takes place on Halloween night, the movie. Yep. But I just have to bring it up real quick because I've heard so many people complain about like the supernatural element of Terrifier. This movie right here proves that Art is supernatural.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's many things he does throughout this film that make him supernatural.
Well, and even at the beginning of Terrifier, you get the impression that he's supernatural.
Yeah, but people for some reason have an issue with it. But
I also got an issue that he uses a gun, and they don't think it can be a slasher. He uses a fucking gun in one scene.
That is so true.
Fuck's sakes. Like, are we really going to be that picky that he uses a gun for one kill and all? Like, he cuts open a fucking woman's skin and wears it.
Right.
Right? Like, that's not done with a motherfucking gun. That's done with a fucking knife.
Right.
Like he kills like those pizza delivery or those pizza dudes. Like he shoots one chick,
Yeah, and he did
One
it because he's
chick.
out of frustration.
right? Like it's not like he just runs around with a gun the entire film. There's a whole bunch of other kills where he doesn't have a gun. So to be like,
Right.
it's not a slasher because he used a gun in one scene. I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems a little far-fetched to me.
Just a little bit.
Like, but yeah, I those are the movies that we thought, and probably some of them are more popular than others. That just really represent the Halloween spirit to me. Like I think about babysitting, and I think about All Hallows Eve as the most accurate representation I've seen of babysitting modern day.
Yeah, that is
Right.
very true, actually.
You know, I think that is probably the most accurate, most like, yeah, you're just sitting there chilling with the kids. They bring home this VHS tape. Maybe they beg you enough and you put it on. But after that first fucking story, I'd be like, fuck this shit, calling the cops.
Well, shit. After about halfway through that story, I would have turned
Yeah.
it off and said, "You kids get out of here," and I would either finish it to see what the hell's going on, and then go, "Okay, I'm calling the cops," or I would have just got rid of the tape and just completely.
No, I would have called the cops and not even finished it and been like, you need to come take a look at this shit. Now, do you think if she hadn't finished the tape that he would have come after her?
I'm thinking that she had to finish the tape to do it because it seemed like she kept being drawn back to it too. So I think there may be like something with it. Like once you play it, you kind of want to finish it.
Well, and that's also the thing of human nature. We don't look away.
Yeah.
It's happening to somebody else, so it's safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's why we like horror movies, right? We talked about this back in episode 1. It's a safe escape into fear, right?
Right.
So, you know, she could argue she was doing the exact same thing. Halloween night, I don't know, she's babysitting. Maybe she thought that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, because if I was like a babysitter, like I probably would want to watch some like kind of scary movies with the kids, depending on their age and how they handle.
Yeah, like Serbian film, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Scott would put on. He's like,
Serbian
all right,
film,
kiddies,
Girl Next Door.
I got one for you. Let's put some Human Centipede on.
Yeah. Let's watch Solo, 120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah, let's get the real shit going, right? No, that's what Tim Davis shows his kids.
Right, exactly.
That's the kind of shit he likes to put on. But yeah, so I guess that finishes out our Halloween theme.
Yeah, like really don't have much else to say about these films. Like Halloween in general. Like I said, every podcaster that's a horror movie, like even non-horror podcasters, do Halloween episodes. So, you know, we didn't want to do like the whole history of Halloween. So we just kind of wanted to do find the movies that fit that theme, like of Halloween as a holiday.
Absolutely. Even though it's so funny to say it's a holiday, right? Like, it's not really a holiday.
I mean, because holiday technically is holy day, and Halloween is not that.
Well, depending on your faith.
Yeah, that is true.
Judgy pants over here.
That is very true.
So our Out of the Dark segment is just basically Scott and I bullshitting. So hold on tight, boys and girls, for the 6 or whoever you identify as a very exciting party we're about to have right now. So favorite horror movies, favorite candies. Scott always gets so offended when I don't let him go first. So Scott, go.
So we're talking favorite Halloween horror films, right?
Oh my God, yeah, but Scott, don't list all of them, okay? Fuck's sake, we don't have all night.
No, well, I am gonna go one that's not even like it's borderline horror child, and that is Ernest Scared Stupid.
Of course.
I love this movie. This and Hocus Pocus are like two that I have to watch around this time of year because it brings out the kid in me. Like I just feel young at heart when I watch them, and I just have this like Hocus Pocus just because it's a good Halloween movie. Ernest Scared Stupid because I'm a huge Ernest fan, and it just brings a big dumb smile on my face seeing his antics on screen. And
he was a really fun guy.
He was,
yeah.
And just
great character actor.
And the trolls in that are terrifying. Like they're gross.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Well, to give you one clue, the trolls were the killer clowns from outer space, repainted and repurposed for this movie.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so like it's the Chiodo brothers that do Critters and Killer Clowns and all that stuff. That's their designs they put into this movie. The main troll was something they created for the film. And yeah, they're creepy, gross, slimy. Like it kind of creeped me out as a kid, but at the same time had that levity that made me feel better about myself when I'd watch Ernest just hurting himself or doing something stupid.
Nice.
How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
God. That's funny.
Oh, I love it.
Do you watch the original Halloween?
Yes, that is
Yeah,
like
me too.
I watch. Usually, what I end up doing is like a lot of the child horror, like Hocus Pocus and Nurse Scared Stupid, would be like throughout the month, and then Halloween night, depending on like what day it lands on or whatever, I'll usually do Trick or Treat, the original Halloween, then follow it up with Halloween 2.
Will you add Halloween 2018 to your list now?
Maybe occasionally, like it might not be on Halloween, like it might just be one I'd watch during October because I do enjoy it, and it does have like that Halloween vibe to it.
You know, I am not a Halloween Halloween fanboy or fangirl or fan person.
Neither am I.
I like them. I do.
Yeah.
The first ones I saw were Halloween 4 and 5, and I always have enjoyed that storyline. It's a separate storyline in the Halloween universe. I've always thought it was cool, the idea that Laurie would have had a daughter and Michael Myers would have come after her, and the daughter, you know, the end of the fourth one leaves you wondering what the daughter's intentions were,
Yeah.
and the fifth follows up from that. The sixth one I do find hard to sit through. I didn't hate. I liked Halloween H2O for what it was.
Yeah,
Came
same
out in
here.
the 2000s. It's a product of the 2000s. I do appreciate that Michael Myers is able to all of a sudden like engage in some serious CrossFit with lowering himself down with one fucking hand from the from the ceiling. Obviously, dude drinks a lot of whey protein. And
I do have to say I love that shot though.
it's a great shot. Jamie Lee Curtis is great in it. They really should have ended it. I agree with Dave C. when they chopped off his head. I think that they should have ended it there. I don't hate Resurrection though. I think Resurrection is fucking funny. Like I find that film fucking hilarious. With Busta Rhymes and shit. Like I just think it's funny. I didn't think that movie was ever supposed to be taken seriously. I just figure it was like a dumb fucking movie that they threw out Michael Myers in. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, they could have made it. If they didn't put Michael Myers in it, they just used some other fucking serial killer. It would have been a fucking funny movie.
Yeah.
Like their biggest mistake was putting Jamie Lee Curtis and making it Michael Myers. If they had just used that some random fucking psycho got loose and broke into this reality TV show of this haunted house, it would have been not a bad movie. Like,
yeah, and I think the whole
Michael Myers.
I think the whole killing off Jamie in the first like 5 minutes of the film.
Well, and then to like have the really dumb plot throughout it and his really shitty mask. Like yet again, if they had just had a psychopath, like, it would have been fine. And called it something else, like called it, I don't know, Night of the Psycho, or I don't know, killer television, I don't know,
Killer William Shatner,
right? Like you just know, but yeah, you wouldn't have had the mask then, right? You would have just had this fucking psycho show up, and you know, maybe his family was killed in the house and he's come back to take revenge on the reality TV show that's there. There you go. I just came out with a fucking movie, and you could have still had Busta Rhymes fighting. Would have still been fucking awesome.
So true.
And what was the one that was after that? I feel like
then it's Rob Zombies,
which I'm not a huge fan of. For the first part of the Rob Zombie one, I find the whole, he was trailer trash and then he got bullied and that's why he's so fucked up. I really don't like that.
I don't want a story on why he's a killer.
No, it's fucking annoying. Like I'm so sick of Rob Zombie trying to make you feel bad for the antagonist. Shut up, Rob Zombie. I don't need to feel bad for your antagonist. Now, that being said, I like Rob Zombie films. And I did enjoy the last half of Halloween Rob Zombie. Like I thought Laurie Strode and the chicks that they got were fucking excellent.
Yeah.
I thought their dialogue was good. It was only that beginning part that I don't like. I enjoy The Devil's Rejects and A House of 1,000. Good movies. I didn't hate 31. Thought it was all right for a Rob Zombie film.
What did you think of Halloween 2?
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't get through it. I thought it was stupid. I couldn't handle it. I shut it off.
Yeah, I seen both these in theaters, and part 2, like I got so excited when it was like, oh, they're literally remaking part 2. It's going to be in the hospital, and it's going to be like Rob Zombie violent. Awesome. Oh, this was like 15 minutes of a dream sequence. Fuck you. Really? You got me excited, and you're just like, nope, fuck this. We're doing something completely off the walls and bringing in a white horse, and my wife's coming back as a ghost. Oh my God, why?
But my wife in every movie. But that's not even the issue I had with it. I couldn't stand Laurie's character, and I understand that she would have had to have trauma, and her behavior, like the first 15 minutes, she's just swearing, and she's like, fuck this, fuck that,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm evil like my uncle, and I was like, fuck, I can't, like, and I get it, like it's actually it's probably more accurate to what would actually happen. I'll give them credit, like it
there's
just wasn't
trauma
for
there.
me. It just wasn't for me. It's not a bad movie. It's just not something that I enjoyed at the time. You know what? Maybe if I watched it now, it would be different because I've seen more Rob Zombie films. Maybe I would have a better appreciation for it. It just wasn't my jam at the time. I would never sit and shit on people who like that movies, or even like them more than the original ones. Like, I think Rob Zombie is a decent storyteller. I just personally don't need a backstory to why Michael Myers is evil, and I definitely don't need him coming from some trailer trash family, like, at all. I don't need that one bit. And I enjoyed Halloween 2018, but I honestly didn't think it was needed. And I realized that's probably an unpopular opinion.
Yep,
but
same here.
I thought it was fine. Like, I enjoyed it, but I was like, didn't need to do it. And I really was hoping it was going to end. I don't know why we need 2 more.
Right.
But you know what? Maybe they'll be good. They're entertaining films.
Yeah, I'll still watch them.
Like, the special effects, and definitely Halloween 2018 captured Halloween night very well.
Yeah. Walking the street with the trick-or-treaters and that awesome, like, single shot take that he's going through, and goes through the garage, then walks through the house, and you're following him the whole time, and he's back out on the street with the trick-or-treaters again.
Absolutely. We didn't talk about it because everyone's going to talk about it, and we just didn't feel the need to repeat it. Just
like we didn't want to talk about the original Halloween like that, because
I
mean, for one, that one really to me didn't feel Halloween the most. Didn't have the Halloween aesthetic to me.
I think it does for that time period. I think it does represent it, but I think for now, they do carve, but I never got why they were carving the jack-o'-lantern like the night of.
Yeah.
Like, and like it seemed like they did it
usually
before,
do that like
after
a week
they came home from trick-or-treating, which I didn't really get. But you know what? Like, really, that's a small plot issue. It's not that big of a deal. But Hocus Pocus, huh? That was something you really liked.
Yep. And Garfield's Halloween episode.
Oh, interesting.
I love, like, that one actually scared me when I was a kid because of the pirate ghosts that they run into, like, during the story. Those ghosts creep me the hell out because they kind of reminded me of the ghosts from The Fog.
Yeah.
And like, but yeah, I love that. I love that cartoon. Like, during the holidays, I'll take the trip down nostalgia and stuff, like when I was a little kid, and rewatch some things. And like, I'll find Halloween themed episodes, like the Halloween themed Roseanne episodes, because those are really well done, because their family was all about celebrating Halloween. But yeah, like for the most part, I do have to mention Trick or Treat from the 80s, because that is one that I usually watch with Sammy Kerr. Sammy Kerr Lives. Yeah. Love that movie. Heavy metal horror at its finest.
Nice.
But yeah, like, it just all depends. Like, I switch everything up because there's certain ones I'll watch every year, and then there's ones I'll watch every couple of years, just to kind of bring it up, switch it up, and try to watch something new. Like this year, I tried watching some newer 2019, 2020 Halloween themed horror films, and they all fell flat on their face. They were just not that good.
I really liked Haunt from last year.
Yes, Haunt was really good.
And we already covered Haunt, I believe, in our haunted attractions.
I don't think we actually did. Wow, I can't remember if we actually did, because that's when we used to cover a lot of movies.
So we might have covered Haunt. I love Haunt. I think it's an excellent film. Hellfest, I really like too. I feel like that one captures like going to scares.
Yes.
I really liked Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yep, that one has a good Halloween feel to it.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the better, like, I thought they did a great adaptation of the book.
Same here. I love it. Like, one of my personal friends actually messaged me going, "Hey, have you seen Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?" And I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Well, what do you think?" I'm like, "Watch it." Like, you'll love it. If you're a fan of those books, you'll love it.
It's a good fucking movie. I really like Sleepy Hollow. We've talked about it in the past, but it's one of my favorite movies to watch around Halloween time, because of the pumpkins that are in it, the Halloween party. It takes place around Halloween. A little bit more of the folklore in there.
Dark Tim Burton film in general.
The Nightmare Before Christmas is a great bridge between Halloween and Christmas. I think Everyone and their mom knows about that movie.
It's funny. I usually watch that on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, it's a good bridge.
At least for American Thanksgiving, because it's like
Yeah.
halfway between Halloween and Christmas, so it's like that perfect bridge gap movie.
Yeah, I think that's really smart, actually. But I think Sleepy Hollow is one movie I've seen a billion times over. I could watch it over and over again. I never get bored of it. I love it so much. I love the romance in it. I also enjoy the Halloween original. That's something I always watch. I'll watch Haunt. I really like Haunt. And Trick or Treat. I think the one that we watched this year will definitely become something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's kind of got to. It's almost just like a rite of passage now. Once you're a horror fan, you have to watch this every year.
And I also have a playlist of horror music, and I do have. Yeah, I do on my Spotify, and I play it when I used to drive into work, back in the days.
Yeah, back in 2019.
Back in 2019. Actually, I don't miss driving into work. I'll be honest. I'm very happy working from home. I am not complaining at all. I'm living my best life. If borders were open, things would be perfect. That's the only thing that's inconveniencing me right now. But I have a Halloween playlist that I listen to, and I really like it. And I really like John Carpenter's. I really like a lot of soundtrack to horror movies. I like to listen to those around Halloween. I love the song "This Is Halloween" by This Is Halloween. This is Halloween. And I like the Marilyn Manson version.
I was just about to ask if it's the Marilyn Manson one you like, or if it was both.
I like both, honestly.
Yeah, because they're both good,
right? Yeah, like those are. I enjoy watching the Thriller video.
Yeah, I gotta at least listen to and watch Thriller once. Oh, and one more movie I completely forgot about. Speaking of bringing up Vincent Price earlier, the House on Haunted Hill.
Oh yes,
the original. I gotta watch that because it's just, for me, it's like a classic Halloween horror film. I mean, it's not technically on Halloween, but it just has that black and white spooky vibe for Halloween.
You know what other song I really like is did you ever see the movie The Purple People Eater? One eye, one horrifying purple people eater.
Yeah.
I like that song too. Yeah, like I'm definitely a basic bitch when it comes to horror movies that I like. I actually haven't watched Hocus Pocus in a long time, and I honestly have no interest in watching it again. I feel like it's something I liked as a kid. I think I'll find it annoying as an adult.
I think you would be surprised. I thought the same thing.
We have different tastes, Scott.
We do, but I think you would be a little more surprised because it's darker than what I remembered it being too.
Well, I will save it till when my friend's daughter is old enough, and I'll watch it with her for the first time. The Witches. No, I probably wouldn't watch that again. There's not many movies from when I was younger, with the exception of Sleepy Hollow.
Yep, that makes sense.
I really am and Halloween 4 and 5. I actually really enjoy Halloween 4 and 5, but I think that's more because those were the first Halloween movies I saw, because they're not that great. Like, I can sit there and be like, no, they're not the best fucking movies in the entire planet, but like, I really like them and I have fun with them.
And I actually watched Halloween 4 today in prep for something special.
Something special. Well, aren't you clever, huh? What about candy, Scott? What kind of candy do you like?
Oh man. So this may come as a shock to some people, but I'm not like the big chocolate fan. Like, I like chocolate, sure, but it's not like my go-to candy. I'm the kind that likes the tart fruit flavored candies. So I was always excited when, like, I would dump my bag and I would see like Starbursts and Skittles and
razor blades in your apple.
Yes.
Knife in your Kit Kat.
And random rusty pennies that some people would give us.
Like old people.
Yep.
Yeah.
But one of the candies, like, this is kind of like an oddball one, but I love these to this day, and I just don't know. And I never see them in the store and nowhere to ever buy them, but they always show up in like Halloween, like pillow sacks whenever I'd go trick or treating, and it'd be those fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls. Instead of them being like the chocolate flavored Tootsie Roll, it'd be like lemon flavored or orange flavored or strawberry or cherry.
Nice.
I loved those, and I don't know where the fuck people find those, because I never see them in stores. Like, if I did, I'd probably have, like, buy up a bag and just have them at my house because I love them. And then I was also a big fan of, I gotta say it this way, American Smarties.
Yes, it's true, because they are different.
Yep, completely different. but I loved them as a kid, and Sweet Tarts and stuff like that.
Because Canadian Smarties are chocolate, like M&Ms.
Yeah, I'll say they look exactly like M&Ms.
But I can't have Smarties because they have flour in them.
Yeah.
And that has gluten. But
I will have to try them when I come over.
Yeah, I'll get you a pack of Smarties. They're easy to come by.
Just so I can say I tried them.
Of course.
But how about you? What type of candies did you like getting?
Well, I definitely like sour candies as well. I liked Crispy Crunch was my favorite chocolate bar.
Crispy Crunch. I don't know if I've heard that one.
Oh, they're Canadian.
Oh, okay.
It's like this toffee covered candy, and it's yum yum in your tum tum. Chips were fine, but I used to be like, you bring your pillowcase, and I don't know if you were like this as a kid too. You always start off super ambitious, running up to house to house to house, but like you get tired. And I was an only child, right? So I'd usually go out with one friend, and my dad was a fucking trooper. Like he would take me out throughout the neighborhood, and we would be out for hours on end. Like I would come back with like bags of candy. Sometimes you have to go back to get a new pillowcase.
Yep, that was same here because I would always hit my grandmother's subdivision up, and it would be me, my brother, and my parents. My parents got smart and said, "Fuck this! We're not walking around with these little balls of energy. We're driving them around and just dropping them or following them everywhere they go."
Oh wow, that's clever. No, my dad walked with us. And we used to have something called the pumpkin patrol up here, where it would be like a car that had like pumpkins on the side. It was run by the police, and they would come by and they give you like glow in the dark bags and
that's cool.
Yeah, like it was really community based. And like the UNICEF thing was a really big deal because we used to collect for UNICEF, and if you collected enough money, like you would get acknowledged and stuff like that, which was really awesome. I really enjoyed Halloween night. I always enjoyed dressing up. We shared some of our costumes on the page.
Yep. I love that.
I will have 3 costumes this year. I already had my Super Heather one, which was the kid-friendly one. And then I will be wearing either a witch costume or I had something else in mind that I was going to wear. Oh, a devil or something like that. To trivia night. And then I will be wearing a much more adult themed costume to the drag show that I'll be going to on October 30th.
That I can't wait to see pictures of all of them, because you showed me pictures of last year's and the couple years before. Like you go all out. Like you literally are just like, no, I'm in 1 costume. No, I'm in 3, maybe 4 costumes. I got costumes for every event.
Well, you know what? I figure you only live once, and you might as well make the best of the time that you're here. And I'm kind of flirting with doing the Lady Luck or the witch, the sexy witch. Not too sexy, like not over the top to the trivia, but I have this devil costume in mind to go to the drag show, and it's pretty scandalous.
Nice.
So we'll see if I end up actually doing it.
Yeah, because I will say I do love that Lady Luck costume. That one is freaking awesome.
Yeah, that won me first place prize last year at the costume.
That was really well done.
I used to go to this United Way fundraiser as well when we had work in person, and we would dress up for United Way, and you get a lunch, and people would do like a talent show, and then you would have a costume contest, and I won last year.
And I was going to ask, did you make that costume, or was that something you bought?
No, that was from a friend of mine. She gave up a whole bunch of costumes, and I wore it.
I was like, because that is a really cool, unique outfit. I've never seen anything like that.
It is, and which is why I probably won. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun, and I definitely plan on doing the same thing again this year. And Mickey has a costume. Mickey's my dog, and he has a bow tie, and he has
you look so cute in it too.
Which I usually do dress him up on Halloween, so we'll see if that happens this year, how he's feeling. But yeah, what are you gonna go as?
I am so undecided for this year, just because like I've told you before, I just haven't felt the Halloween spirit at all this year. Like going to the event last night kind of brought it out of me a little bit. Doing our episode tonight's helping me. Yeah. Going to be doing some pumpkin carving next weekend, so that's going to help. I'm not sure. I may just reuse some old Halloween stuff and mix and match or whatnot. But I know last year I did end up doing 2 costumes, because that's when you and I first became friends on Facebook, and we were both commenting on our Halloween outfits.
Yeah, you went as a Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yep, I went because we had a 80s and 90s wrestler theme at work.
Yeah, that's cool.
I went as what do we call that? Like a dollar store version of Hacksaw Jim Duggan because I just couldn't find the right stuff to match.
Oh, you did pretty good, to be honest with you.
I'll say, like, you said that you encouraged me and made me feel better about it because I was like, oh, I don't think I looked good at
No,
all.
I looked really good. I thought it was pretty good, actually.
And then what was it?
The Druid?
Nope. The next like I think it was on like the weekend before Halloween. I ended up dressing up as that like cultist inspired by Vincent Price's Red Death in the Mask of the Red Death.
Yeah,
his
you
face
looked
is all red.
hot.
Yeah, I
In that
remember you like
outfit,
really like that one too.
I was like, I'll break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Yeah, no, you looked good. You looked really good in that outfit. It was a good outfit for you.
Yeah, so I might throw that outfit on again because that's simple and easy.
Hey, why not?
Yep, and then might pull out my Renaissance Festival outfit for passing out candy. Might do something completely different. Like I haven't fully decided yet because I don't have like nearly as many opportunities for wearing costumes out. Like you have all these events that you're able to go to.
Yeah.
There isn't too many of those types of events going on around here. Like besides like the haunted house and stuff, and you usually don't want to dress up for like that stuff like that.
No, I wouldn't dress up to go to a haunted house either. It was cute when I had the Supergirl or Superwoman or whatever Supergirl costume on. I had so many kids wave to me at the event I went to.
Oh, I bet you've drawn so much attention from the kiddies.
Yeah, like I had the little boots on and stuff, and it was supposed to be a sexy costume. I made it a slightly less sexier to go out with children.
Yeah, so you were able to like you were able to make it look like it would in the comic book.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like I looked, it wasn't like I was wearing a sack, but I wasn't like, dressed out how I'm going to be dressed when I go to the Devil's Night thing.
Right, exactly.
Last time I went to see the Drag Queen show, I went in a full leather outfit.
Yep.
Just because when I go out, I go out to party and I dress like I'm going to party, and I have no problem admitting to that, and I'm proud of myself and happy.
Yeah, like I said, you are two different people in one because you are business casual Heather, and then you are partying out in the wild. Got my sexy outfit on, looking good.
Yeah, I wear stilettos, and I definitely and the drag queen, she was sweet. She's like, girl, you're not supposed to look better than the drag queen. I thought that was pretty sweet. So we'll see. I'm really debating how far I want to take it, more or less because I don't want my girlfriends with me to be super uncomfortable. Like if I thought they were going to take it that far, I would probably
yeah
you would go take it a lot further, but we'll see.
I could see you just taking it one step further every time.
Yeah, I would. Like within reason, obviously. Like I'm not gonna walk around naked or anything like that.
Well, that'd be kind of fun though.
Yeah. All right, can you imagine? It'd be cold. It's cold up here. We don't live in fucking Florida. Maybe I can get away with that in Florida or Australia. But yeah, we'll see. But I definitely am gonna pull off the witch thing to go to the trivia, which will be like a little more revealing, but like nothing crazy over the top, right? Yeah. But I haven't been dressed as a witch in forever. But I'm just piecing together stuff from we have this place called Treasure Hunt up here where they sell like discounted items and stuff, and Value Village, and I just piece together things and I make it
that work. Makes sense, like because you don't usually do your stuff from the Halloween stores, do you?
No,
because that stuff's way overpriced,
right? Or unless someone hands me down Halloween costumes that they don't want anymore, I wear them and then I mix and match them with other things.
Right, because that's pretty much why I don't have very many, because like the only option I've really seen is the Halloween stores, and that's very pricey.
But you gotta go to Value Village. If we ever have a chance to get together, I'll take you to Value Village, which is our thrift store up here, and we have really good stuff there. And,
because our Goodwills here aren't that great.
Like you have to go to like the privileged areas because they get like rich people give away crazy shit, right? So anyway. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see your Halloween costumes and the adventures you get up to. You have some fun stuff going on. Me too.
And I think we should share some of our Halloween adventures coming up, like with our Halloween outfits on the podcast page, like the ones that
I've really promoted them, right? So I feel like I better share. Just so we're clear, like I don't dress like a stripper, guys. Like it's not that bad. I just definitely do it up.
Right.
I don't know. Scott's like, yeah, you do, Heather.
you look good. I'll say that. But no, I was gonna say, but yeah, like we should like anybody that because we already shared the children's like our child's costumes and stuff. So yeah, if you guys when you guys hear this, feel free to share like your adult Halloween costumes. I'll share mine. Heather will share some of hers.
Like some of theirs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm assuming she will.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, like I would like to see what everybody gets up to during this time of year, like if they dress up. Because I know, like, I'm going to call them out. Court Psyop, I know you did a freaking awesome costume like a couple years back. Like, you actually, like, used, like, you built it yourself and drilled and all that shit. So, like, I just remember it being, like, some wicked-ass skull gas mask thing that you made. So
That sounds pretty cool.
if you hear this, share it on our page, my friend.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Because you know what? That's all about the spirit, right? We're
Yeah.
making the best of 2020. You know, we know it's not been a perfect year. We're all aware, but let's make the best of this. Let's just have fun. You know, whatever safe fun looks like for you. And everyone lives in different areas and things are happening in different areas. So no judgment here. You do what's best and safe for you and your family. But let's have a good time.
Yep. Everyone have a great time and a happy Halloween.
And thank you as always for listening. We really hope you enjoyed our last show with the Horror for Dummies guys. It was so nice having them on. They're so great. I can't say enough good things about them in their podcast. Please check out their Halloween House of Horrors and give them a 5-star written review. I don't even know if you can review Scott and I. Probably wouldn't read it anyway, so don't bother.
I'll say, like, technically they would have to give a 5-star to kill the cast, but you should do that anyways.
Yeah, give a 5-star to kill the cast. Give a 5-star to kill the cast for sure. And we'll be back in November with a new theme, new adventures,
And many more stories.
and Halloween stories, and Scott's dating stories,
And Heather's
bobbing for
recovering
apples.
Heather's Heather's
dolls.
recovering liver stories.
Oh yeah, that's true. Truth.
You got
Truth.
some drinking days coming up, I know. So
Truth. So true. Yeah, I'll never forget bobbing, like legit bobbing for apples. Like talk about like a death activity. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
Yeah.
Stick your head in this water with everyone else, with your hands behind your back.
Seems safe.
Seems legit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite yum yum caramel apples. Num 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 num.
Oh, I love
My
caramel
tum-tum.
apples.
Num 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 num.
Or as Homer would go.
Treehouse Horror, right? Which is
Yes.
Horror for Dummies. Just covered that. You can also find Scott and I on It's Not Horror, okay. And we'll be hopping around here and there in different podcasts. I think coming up soon. We'll have some adventures. And yeah, anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
Not just until next time, unpleasant dreams and a happy and a spooky Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Be safe and don't bob for apples. Good night.
Good night.